If you're just joining, you're welcome in. We just started and I'm trying to set up. Okay. All right. All right. All right, guys. If you're just joining, you're welcome. If you're just coming in, you're welcome in. Hi, Michael. How are you? All right, so I'm going to like drop the link now on the channel so people can come in and we start. We're going to give them 2 minutes to join. So I'm going to drop the link now and then it's time. All right. So I just posted the link down on the channel. I just posted the link now on the channel. We're going to give them 2 minutes to come in and we start. 2 minutes to come in and then we start. Strong, so just fight. 2 minutes, guys, and we start. 2 minutes and we start. If you're just joining, you're welcome in. 1 more minute, guys. 1 more minute and we kick off. YouTube just held the comments now. So I should hold for review. Someone says just beat it. I don't know why YouTube held the comment. Pharaoh Collard, I see you. I don't know why this is like giving me Issues. Guys, hold on. Let me try something. Hold on. Let me try something. Okay. Hold on, guys. Alright, let's go. Is it 2 minutes? Alright, it's time now. Okay, let's leave it this way. Alright, I think this is better. Okay. Oh, Holy Spirit, take control. So guys, we intend to spend just 1 hour 30 minutes on the live. I don't intend to stay long today because I have other things I need to do. There are other things I need to do for real. I almost didn't want to go live today, but because of consistency and keeping to my word, I just still had to go live. So this is gold. We're looking at gold, and for those of you who have been joining my live over and over again, you would understand why I have these zones here. You know why I have these zones here, because we drew it together. All right. Okay. So happy Sunday, everyone, and happy new week. Do me a favor by tapping on the screen so that the live will be elevated. The algorithm will elevate this live. Just do me a favor by tapping on your screen. Thanks. All right, so I'm gonna go to a different gold right now. It's still the same gold, but a different market. Okay, so because this one here is already mapped out. This is already mapped out. So I'm gonna go to a different one that is not mapped out, so we can draw a fresh zone. And so I'm going to delete all this here. I'll delete all this here, and then we're going to start all over again. I'll delete all the lines, and we're going to start all over again. So this is gold, and would you guys want us to analyze BTC too? I mean, the comment section, would you guys want us to analyze BTC too, or we should just focus on gold today? Why is this not charging? Okay. All right, I see a lot of people on YouTube saying BTC too. Let me check TikTok. Okay. All right, so which one should we start with? BTC or gold? Which pair should we start the analysis? BTC or gold? Someone said gold first. Two more replies, and I'll decide. All right, gold. 3 persons said gold. All right, so guys, this is gold. Okay. All right, hope you guys can see the screen though. Why is this one looking? Oh, maybe come up a bit. This is the daily time frame. So whenever when it's a new day, before you take trade for the day, I've always said it over and over again, always do a top-down analysis. Except you have a different strategy that works for you. You know, when you hear a trader say top-down analysis, it doesn't always necessarily apply to every trader. Okay, there's some strategies that doesn't require you doing a top-down analysis, right? Okay. So, but if you're a day trader, not a scalper, even swing traders, right? Even a swing trader, you have to do a top-down analysis. A top-down analysis gives you a direction of the market, tells you who owns that market. Is it are the investors indecisive by range, or is it buyers that own the market by uptrend, or is it sellers that own the market by downtrend? Do you get? So looking at this formation right now, who owns this market? looking at this formation right now, let's interact briefly. Who owns this market, guys? Is it buyers or sellers, or there's an indecision in the market? Yeah, this is daily time frame. This is daily time frame. Someone said bearish. That's coming from Farouk. Farouk says bearish. So guys, I'm asking, who owns this market? Is it buyers or sellers, or the market is indecisive? This is daily time frame. This is daily time frame. I see a lot of people saying sellers. I hope your reply is not based off on other people's reply. I hope your reply is not based on other people's reply. Okay, Janito, I see you. Kaise, I see you. Okay, someone says I see a sell. That's Kaise. All right, majority says sell. All right, so if I can understand vividly what you mean by sell, is it because of this structure? Is it because of this structure here to the downside? Is it because of this? Is this what you're seeing? Is this the reason why you said the structure is a bearish market? Is this why? This is daily time frame for those of you asking. Okay, only one person says buyers, it's buy. That's coming from RDK. RDK says it's buy. Okay, call me CX1 says it's a buy. Mr. OV says indecisive, need to wait for price movement. A candle can break the downtrend. It's a buy. Oh, okay. I see people saying it's a buy. All right, guys. So let's look at it this way from the higher time frame. All right, this is daily time frame, and from the look of the daily time frame, guys, this is a bearish market. All right, it's a bearish market. So any buy you see happening might just be temporary, but hold on. Don't get it wrong. Remember what I used to tell you guys, that you get the market structure from the daily and 4-hour time frame, right? And then the 1-hour time frame is your current trend. So on the daily time frame, it's showing us that sellers are stronger in this market. Okay, all right. So what I may like to do right now is to mark this high. Are you seeing this liquidity high here? So I'm going to mark it, make it a very prime point. You know why? Because this is a higher high. This is a lower high, lower low. Let me mark it here. This was the beginning of the downfall. Lower low, lower high, lower low. This is the last lower high. Are you seeing this? So that's the reason why I marked. So I'm going to change that color to maybe, I'm going to give it pink. Not because pink is my favorite color anyway. So this is a trend. Are you seeing the trend? Okay, apparently. So this is daily time frame, and daily time frame tells me, okay, daily, all right, bearish. Now let's go to 4-hour now. Let's go to 4-hour. Remember what we did on the daily time frame, guys. We're doing a top-down analysis, yeah? Remember what we just did on the daily time frame? We marked the last high. We just marked the last high with pink. Okay, so if you're with your system, you can mark that too and wait for a breakout. Okay, it may happen on Monday, it may happen on Tuesday, it may happen next week, maybe not this week. So now let's go to 4-hour. And I told you 4-hour also, as you can see, guys, can you see this? Can you see this? So you see, it's a downtrend. So all of you who said downtrend, good. So for those of you who said bullish, it may look bullish on a smaller time frame, right? May look bullish on a smaller time frame, but the overall structure of the market from the higher time frame shows sellers are stronger in this market. Why is it so? Because of Trump and Iran. That's it. Normally when there's war, when there's a global war or something, gold buys. But this war that just happened, you see gold dumping. You know why gold buys during war? Because investors become scared. They withdraw all their assets, all their money, from where they invested it, the currency they invested it, they bring it to a safe haven pair, which is gold, JPY, That's if there's war between US and any country. So they remove their investment from that currency and they go to a safe haven, safe haven pairs, safe haven markets to keep their money. That's the reason why you see gold having all-time high, spiking and some other pairs like that. But unfortunately, it was different this time. There was war, but instead of gold to pump, rather there was a decline in gold. Do you understand? So, and during the war, the U.S. economy was strong. That was why USD was pumping. The U.S. economy was strong, and this was what happened. I'm not trying to go into the story here. Trump, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Trump would come out and give a speech in favor, like as though there's about to be peace between them and Iran, and then a sudden move in one direction. Iran, after some minutes, almost immediately, will come out and debunk Trump's speech, now make the market reverse. So that's what's been happening lately, though. Do you understand? So that's the reason for this dumping lately, because the U.S. economy gained more strength. Do you get? Even though they were fighting Iran, if you notice, no bomb was thrown at U.S. Those bombs Iran were throwing were just on they were throwing these bombs to countries that had U.S. Military base. That's it. They were throwing the missiles. Did I say bomb? Yeah. They were throwing the missiles to countries that had U.S. military base, but USA was not attacked. Apparently, if it was, you see gold pumping because investors will start withdrawing their money from the U.S. currency to invest in the safe haven pairs. Do you understand? So on the daily time frame, I just marked a prime spot. This is the current last low. Okay, so anything that makes the market, you want to watch out for. Now, the reason why you have to take note of that spot, the reason why you have to take note of this line is to tell you when buyers are very strong, when like the market is charged on buyers. Do you understand? Okay, so anything now, this is what expected to happen. As you can see, it's a downtrend coming. As you can see it's a downtrend. Now, this downtrend will only be will still be valid if this price should break below the previous low. So this may not happen this coming week. It may not happen, but this downtrend will still be valid if it breaks below this downtrend here, like this. Then goes to the upside. Breaks this downtrend. Goes up to retest again, maybe this line, and then keep dropping to a discount price. But what will make this trend invalid? This is the last high. This is the last high here. So if by this coming week, over the weekend, Trump and Iran have not come up with their saga. So the news they are throwing right now is not one that can have strong impact in the market. So hopefully this week is going to be a good week to trade. I'm banking on that. So listen up, guys. Like I said, take note of this line here, the last high, because if the market should break above here, that's change of character. It's going to retest this zone here. It's going to retest this zone. Remember, anywhere the market break out from, it always goes back to retest it. It may not be immediately, but if you see a retracement, just mark that place. Watch out for price action on that spot. It might just come down to react on that same, respect it before heading to the upside. So now we're looking at for one thing, okay? Price to break above the previous high. Then we know it's a change of character. Shock has happened. Okay, then we know buyers are the ones in this market. Do you understand? Or the market might just keep ranging in this same zone. I just keep ranging in the same zone. Just ranging in the same zone, then finally break out. Okay, so this is for I just want us to see the structure of the market. As you can see, it's a downtrend. Now I'm going to delete this trend. I don't trade trend. I just, I can actually tell the structure of the market without having to draw that trend. I just want us to interact. That's why I drew the trend. So on the 4-hour time frame is where I mark my supply and demand zone. Okay. is where I mark my supply and demand zone. So let's look for it together. Let's look for it together. I'm going to really expand this. So supply zone, you want to mark your major supply zone and your major demand zone. How do you know your major supply zone and your major demand zone? Let me squeeze this. All right. Okay. So, okay, this is your major supply zone because this was the highest price got to. This one here. That's why it's a major supply zone. Now, this is a major demand zone because this was where price got to. This was the lowest price got to before reversing to the upside. All right, so we're going to mark that place on the 4-hour time frame. We're going to mark out our zone. Okay, I already did this some weeks ago, but I feel the need to do it again for those who are new here and who don't know how to mark zones. So the reason why we're marking this zone is to give us, like, to keep us steps ahead. It's to keep us ahead of the game. You know, to keep us it's just to keep us ahead of the game, like to make us be aware on time. You know, where price, if for instance, if price is going all the way up, you already know, okay, I'll be waiting for price to get here. If I can't catch a good trade, you know, as it's going up, I'll be waiting for price to get here, because once it gets here, there's going to be a reaction to the downside. Do you understand? So that's one of the reasons for marking zones on the higher time frame. And marking a zone on the higher time frame is more valid than the lower time frame. More valid than the lower time frame, trust me. I see people marking zones on 1 minute time frame. Well, they understand. Only them understand better how to. Only them understand better how to, you know, trade that. But it's safer doing it on the higher time frame. The lower time frame, the lower time frame. For instance, the 1 minute, the 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, it could have a lot of chunk moves that might confuse you, especially if you're good at reading candlesticks. You might see a fake candlestick move that you think, oh, he's about to go this way, but then it will trick you out. All right, so now we're going to mark out our major demand zone. We just marked, let me change this. I don't want everything to be pink. I like to keep everything neutral. All right, so this is our major demand zone. So now let's mark our major, sorry, I meant to say major supply zone, not demand. The up is supply, below is demand. All right, okay. So this was how low the market came down to before it reversed the upside, making this place our major demand zone from on the 4-hour time frame. Now, after marking out our zones, our supply and demand zone, we're now going to go to 1 hour. We'll go to 1 hour to mark some other zones there. Maybe support. I don't trade support and resistance, but yeah, order block and fair value gaps. All right. Then after which we're going to review last week's trade and then analyze the market for this week. So a lot of people said we should also, for those of you just joining, you're welcome. A lot of people say we should also analyze BTC. So I'm going to hurry up with the gold analysis, then we go to BTC. I do not intend to stay long today because I have other things I need to do. So this is our major demand, major supply zone. And this is liquidity here. There's a liquidity here just before there, meaning price never got to the major demand, major supply zone. I did mean this price entered here. Even this price entered here, it should have still reversed though. So it means here this place is still valid. This zone is still very valid. It has not been mitigated yet. It has not been mitigated here yet. You see how price got so close and started retracing. So it means this zone is valid. Anything that makes price enter this zone is going to be a drop down. So this is 4 hour. I just marked out my supply and demand. Now let's now look for FVG and order block. Let's look for FVG and order block. Now you can mark your FVG and order block on the 4-hour time frame and also on the 1-hour time frame. All right. So from the previous swing high is where we're going to focus on spotting the FVG and order block from the previous swing high. Especially the one price has not respected yet. So we're going to mark the ones price has not respected yet. Okay. I've spotted one. I want to believe you guys know how to spot your supply and demand. Sorry, order block though. I always explain whenever I come live, I always explain how to spot a fair value gap, an order block. I always explain, for those, if you've been joining, then you would understand, you would know how to spot one. So what I'm doing right now is marking out zones, because price usually, gold BTC, they respect zones a lot, especially order block and fair value gap. Okay, so I just saw one right now. This was created on the 3rd of March. So let's keep looking for another order block. Okay, I see one here. Now the reason why you mark your zones is because number one, it's a point of entry, point of interest. Why is the point of interest? Price would react there. Why? Because it created. Why? Because of repeated patterns. It always reacts whenever it gets there. So you spotted that pattern, like, okay, this is it. So aside from marking it for as your point of interest, there must be a reason why it is your point of interest. I'll show you why. This one was respected. Have you guys spotted this one? This one has already been respected. So I'm about to explain why it is your point of interest. Why this zone should be your point of interest. Point of interest as per the place you're waiting for price to get to before you take a trade. Okay? So I'm going to show you guys why it is your point of interest, all these zones. So like I said, you can draw your FVG and order block on the 4-hour time frame, and also on the 1-hour time frame, and even also on the 15-minute time frame, because I noticed that the 1 hour time frame could create an order block, but if you go down to 15 minutes time frame, you would see another order block way below that, way below the 1 hour order block. You understand? And then you want to be smart enough to take the trade from the 15-minute order block, because price always likes to close all gaps. Do you get? Sometimes you could just touch the 1 hour order block and reverse, but it will come back. It will still come back to touch that 15-minute on. So you can also mark your order block on the 15-minute time frame, but don't choke your charts too much, all right, with too many zones. Okay, so I marked this one. So this is why it's your point of interest. Are you seeing now? Are you seeing why it is your point of interest? You see how price got there? You see how price, see, this one did not touch the zone. This price here didn't touch the zone. It came so close and it reversed, all right? And then what happened? See what happened? Price now eventually came up here to touch the zone, and then it reversed. Why did it stop here? Because there was a gap here it created that I needed to close, okay? So now with this, I've just shown you now, right? Let's now look at this. You now see why I said price was gonna, no, that's not it. Is this one? This one. You now see why I said price was gonna come up here. Okay, price came so close. It never touched the supply zone. It never mitigated the supply zone, meaning price is still, anything that brings buyers to this zone, there's going to be reaction here to the downside. So like I said, the market always repeats itself. So just like what you see here, you see in this, a zone, a liquidity that never touched the zone and then started dropping. Same thing here. A zone, a liquidity that never touched, respected that zone or mitigated that zone, and then it dropped and then finally went up to mitigate it. So this is 4 hour. If we go down to 15 minutes, you will see a confirmation for an entry here. You see a candle confirmation here, right on the spot to this downside. So now I just wanted to illustrate that. So that is why the zones are your point of interest. Like I said, you want to wait for price to get there. Why? Because you know price will react when it gets to that zone. Why? Because that zone is very important. It's a very important spot. So that's your point of interest. So that's why we mark zones. We mark zones to keep us ahead of the game. To keep us ahead of the game, because we're waiting for price to get there, because we know there's going to be reaction. Now, let me tell you something. No one guarantees the moves of the market. No one guarantees the move of the market, and I'll explain why. Like as we move forward, I'll explain why. But let me give you a hint. All right, let me give you a hint. You know, sometimes you could draw your zone like this. But when price gets there, price might break above. It might just break above that zone to the upside. Just retest a little bit on the small hour time frame, then keep moving. Or sometimes it may not even retrace, it may just break, but Listen, wherever price gets to, anything that makes price start retracing, the moment it disrespects a zone, just know this is where, that's the zone it's coming down to eventually after shooting up or shooting way down. Anything that makes that price after shooting away from your zone, you see it's now reversed, just know that's the zone, is the zone it's going to. So it's important to know the direction of the market, where the market, like every candle movement is very important. You must know where it is going to, and that is skill on its own. Because I mean, what I know now, and I never knew, when I started, when I was the beginning stage of my trading, I could see candle moving. I want to close so quick because I don't know where it's going to reverse from. I would want to leave the market so quick with the small profit I see, because all these kind of things. And then I could see the markets pushing, moving in one direction, and I wouldn't even know where it's going to. I'm like, how do these people know? How do they know? And then finally, after so many, time spent, experience, I can look at the gold market and tell you where it's heading to. I can look at the gold market and tell you where it is going to reverse from. I can look at not just gold market. I can look at the market and tell you, okay, when price gets here, it's going to reverse, and that's just what's going to happen. It's not like magic. It's because it's a repeated pattern. The market likes to repeat itself. All right. So this is what I was trying to show you. So I'm going to show you guys the other what I was trying to say before. Okay, about price might break. Yeah, about price might break above the zone, but then if you see retracing, it will come back to the zone. So I'm going to give you guys an example on the chart as we move further. Okay, I'm going to give you guys, I won't forget, don't worry, because it happened on Friday. Okay, so I've just marked. Okay, this zone was to show you how price reacted, was to show you the importance and value of drawing your zones, this zone here. So you can safely say, okay, I want to delete this zone here. But you know what I discovered lately? I discovered not to be too quick to delete my zones, because somehow price always reacts whenever it gets there, either a retracement or a breakout. You understand? So recently I discovered that I shouldn't be deleting my zones, even though price respected it, just like here, because I'm all for one touch. After the first touch, I don't need to be in the market anymore. It has already respected the zone, so I don't need to look out for more entries again on that zone, because most of the times, if price comes back to that zone again, it's just going to be a breakout, or it might just play, like trick you and then make you lose money right there. So the first time it comes to touch that zone is the most valid entry point, okay, not the second or the third. So as you can see, as it respected the zone, right, as it respected this zone with this candle, I would have deleted it. But now look what happened. It came back again, reacted on that same zone, came down, came back again the third time. This time it broke. Tricking a lot of buyers to think buyers are in the market. I mean, when I say buyers, I mean retail traders. Tricking a lot of retail traders to think buyers were in the market, because it literally just closed above this zone with a full body candle. Look at the power candle. Look at it. These are kind of move these are the kind of move that will make you feel like that you're not a good trader. But it's not you. It's just the market sometimes. So you see, after I broke out fully, you would think, okay, oh yeah, finally it broke out from this place it was reacting on. You see the number of times it reacted here. You want to take a buy trade from here. You don't take a buy trade from here, because for those of you who trade breakout though, and then market will kick you out with this move. So these are moves, gold prints that can be very tricky and manipulative, and you'll be like, oh, they're monitoring me. Oh, they're monitoring me. Gold is this, gold is that. Of course, I'm not going to dispute the fact that gold can be very tricky, just like what happened on Friday. I didn't take any loss on Friday because I never took a trade on Friday, because from the 2 missiles Iran threw at U.S. ships, that was when the market started moving manipulatively. Started manipulating. So I just knew to avoid the markets. So all my trade this week was on BTC. And then, gold, I traded NFP. For those of you who joined my live on the Telegram live, I explained to you guys how to trade NFP. For those of you who joined the live on Telegram on Friday, I did explain to you guys how to profitably trade NFP. And I did that, you guys saw. And then we're floating on $10,000 in profit on the NFP news with 10 standard lots. 10 standard lots on gold. I also took on USD too, but USD it's not as volatile as gold. So let's keep looking for another zone, guys. Right now, this is 4-hour time frame for those of you who are here. This is 4-hour time frame, and we're still looking for fair value, order block and fair value gap, order block and fair value gaps. The ones I see has already been respected. The ones I see below here has already been respected. Let me increase this. Still looking for fair value gap. You see, that's one thing I love so much about gold. It respects all the blocks. It closes its fair value gap. It does. Did you get? All right. Okay, so I've come to the end. This is it. While we're still here, let me just mark it now. Let me mark it now. The example I told you guys I was going to show you, this is it. This was what happened on Friday. So I marked my zone here, right? This was my zone. For those of you on the channel, I told you guys about the zone. I always drop many analysis there. So this was my zone. And I told you guys I was waiting for the market to come to the zone, give me a confirmation entry before I take a buy. So this is the example I was trying to talk about. So the market came. This was what happened in the market. The buyers took the market to the zone. See, let me tell you guys something. I don't know if there are traders who still do that. I want to believe there are traders who still make this mistake. But I want to believe they know what they're doing anyway. So when you see a zone like this, so some traders, when they spot their zones, they just want to set their position and wait, and then have price activate their trade when market gets to the zone. But if you want to play safe, guys, if you want to be very safe and cut down on losses, I would tell you to always wait for a confirmation on the smaller time frame when price gets to that zone. Don't just mark zone and just take trade automatically when price gets there. As you can see what happened, guys. Look at what happened here. Price broke above. When price got here, buyers took the market to this zone. I was watching and waiting for a confirmation for an entry, but I didn't see anyone, so I didn't call for any trade around here. So price broke way above this zone. So I knew where it was going to reverse from, which I told the people in the community. The price was going to reverse here because on the 15-minute time frame, there was an order block there, of which I told you guys to scalp gold there, right? And that was where gold got to and started reversing back to the zone. So this is what I was trying to tell you guys about. This is it. When price broke above this zone, are you seeing how it broke to the upside, guys? See how it broke to the upside? Now, there's a reason why it retraced from here. There's a reason. If you go back in time, you'll see why. So there's a reason why it retraced from here, which I knew it was going to definitely retrace from there. Either you make money there on scalping or, so honestly, I wasn't expecting price to break above here, but whatever the situation was that made price break above here, this was what I was trying to tell you guys about, that if you mark your zones, if you mark your zone and then price disrespects that zone by breaking away from that zone, any retracement you see, just know it is heading back to that zone to retest it. No matter how far it goes. If you just see a retracement, bam, it will come back to that zone. So this was what happened. It came back to the zone and then it went back up. But you see all this move that happened here? All this was manipulation. All right, so I'm going to mark out the last week trade. So this is the last zone. This is the last zone I spotted. Every other zone has been tested. I see another zone here, right? But I can't draw anything here because this drawing a zone right here from the 4-hour time frame is not valid. It's not valid because of how this candle created. But when we go to the 1-hour time frame, we might see a clearer zone there. Okay, so if you see something like this, don't try to draw an order block. This is not an order block. When the power candle goes below, just like this, when the power candle goes below this previous candle here, then it's not valid. It's not valid. The power candle has to start above, like it has to be either equal length or maybe a little bit above the candle before the shoot. So I can't draw a zone here because this is not a valid order block. Maybe when we go down to the 1-hour time frame, we'll see a more valid order block there. So looking at this, guys, I just spotted this now. This is looking like an M pattern. See this? 1, to second leg. All right, are you seeing this? So no one can predict the market. We just see what the market is trying to do, and then we trade based on repeated patterns. So as you can see here, like I always tell you guys, an M pattern is valid when a candle closes below the neck. Where is the neck? This is the neck. For those of you who trade chart patterns, or you want to learn how to trade chart patterns, there are different types of chart patterns. We have the M pattern, the W pattern, the bullish pendant, rising flag, and then head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder, many of them like that. So you want to, if you're trading the head and shoulder or the W or the M pattern, you want to wait for price to break below the neck. All right, just like you can see this is an M pattern, right? And then this is the neck. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, a lot of times price might just break below the neck and still reverse back to the upside, so it's kind of risky. But let me tell you, I told you guys something on the live stream we did on Telegram. I told you guys that yes, not all strategies work on all pairs, but if it does, there are some pairs that strategy may not have a high win rate there. That strategy may not have a high win rate there, even though it plays out. Or it plays out once in a while. It may not have a high win rate there. But then there are some pairs that some kind of strategies, some particular, some set of strategies might have a high win rate on. Do you get? That's why it's good to focus on one strategy and not jump from one to another. Like this chart pattern, you'd be amazed that GBP prints that a lot. I think Euro USD prints that a lot too. And then lately, gold has been printing it. If it wants to make a move, it will first of all create an M pattern or W pattern. But prior to this period, it was never printing it. So the chances of you seeing such a thing on gold is low. But the chances of you seeing that strategy, that setup on another pair could be high. Do you understand? So if anyone is telling you, oh, it's a lie, oh, all strategies work on all pair, my strategy work on all pair, no, I disagree with that. Or maybe I may agree with that, but then I can tell you from experience, from knowledge, that some pairs, that's strategy, right? Some strategies have low win rates on some pairs and have high win rates on some pairs. All right. So the next time you're jumping from one strategy to another, remember that, okay? And before you try to take a trade on a random pair on some strategy, you ensure you backtest it and see that there's a high win rate on that strategy on that pair. There's a high win rate of that strategy on that pair. All right, because the strategy I used to trade gold and BTC, I checked some other pairs. It doesn't have a high win rate on some other pairs, but it does on gold and BTC. So that's what I'm talking about. All right, so on the 4-hour time frame, as you can see, are you guys seeing the M pattern? Okay. So now let's go to 1-hour time frame. We've marked out our zones on the 4-hour time frame. Now we're going to move down to 1-hour time frame to see, watch out for other zones, possibly ones that we may have missed. Okay. Like I said, normally I would have deleted this zone here because price has already respected it and even disrespected it as well. But I'm going to leave it there. You know why? You know why I'll leave this zone here? Because like I told you guys earlier, recently I realized that I shouldn't be deleting my zones too quickly when price respects it. And second thing is, see what happened here? It's a very clean logic. Price disrespected this zone here, went to the upside and came down. It did not close below the zone, but it did on the smaller time frame. But we're working with the higher time frame. It created a wick. This is a wick it created below the zone. Everything it did, it was just within the zone and above the zone. Within the zone and above the zone. It never went below the zone. So therefore, that's to say, anything that makes sellers, anything that makes an hour candle, 1 hour candle time frame, 1 hour candle close below this zone. Because how to know zones are valid? How to know zones are valid is when you see multiple reaction. Even though market disrespect, I think this white is too bright. Let me change this color to something else. Okay, something a little bit loud. Okay, maybe this is fine. Okay, It's almost same color as the candles. Okay, I think this is better a little bit. Okay, no, same color as the candles. Let me give you something else. Oh, sorry guys, I could do this all day. I think this is a lot better, not so bright. Someone might say, what's the difference between this and this was the one I was trying to click. Okay, so let me delete this quickly. This is how you know. A zone is very valid. You see how price is reacting there. This is how you know a zone is very valid. If it's not valid, price will just keep going its way. To not even come back to respect or whatsoever it is. But this is how you know price has been kissing this zone a lot of times. So now let's return back that. Let's return here. So as I was saying, if sellers should bring the price below this zone, and you see on the 1 hour time frame, a candle closes below, because I tell you, if buyers really wanted to dominate this market, nothing would have brought the market to close below this zone. From here where the market is, it will be going up. Do you get? Just be going up, even if not like to the next zone immediately. It will just be going up, or maybe just keep consolidating. But if you see this market on the 1 hour time frame or 4 hour time frame, a candle closes below this zone, just know sellers still own this market. Because if it was buyers, nothing will bring this price below here. It will just keep going that way. All right. So I'm going to delete this now. Let's forge ahead. This is 1 hour time frame, and we're going to we're going to look out for order blocks. We're going to look out for order blocks and FVG on the 1 hour time frame. Okay. Let me go back in time. Okay. All right, let me show you guys this. Oh, this is even 1 hour. This is 1 hour. All right. See this, guys. I'm going to mark this. That's for those of you who are new to my channel. For those of you who are on my Telegram channel, you know what I'm talking about, because I already explained this. You see what I just drew? You see the gap between this candle? You see the gap between this candle and this third candle here, right? All right. Are you seeing my zone here? Okay. You see? When price disrespected the zone and kept shooting up, one would think, oh, it will keep buying. Oh. Or more buyers are in to keep buying. But no, it doesn't work that way. If you're trading gold, always watch out for zones. I told you guys to scalp gold here, that when price gets here, this pink line, this one here, I told you guys to scalp gold here. When price, that's where price was going to, as it disrespected our zone. This was the next order block, the next value gap, fair value gap. And then price actually got there and sold to the downside. And then there was a sell trade I called here. And then there was another one I called here. This one was a trick. The first one played out. That was when I knew I have to stay around. That's why I didn't trade gold. This move happened, I think, on Wednesday, yeah. Then I didn't bother trading gold on Thursday when I saw the manipulation around here. It's very easy to spot a market that will move well for the week. It's very easy to spot. There are times that I could just see how the market is going and I'll decide not to trade that day, that week. You will know when market is going to be good for the week. You will know. Sometimes from Monday. Ouch, this thing is so bright. Sometimes from Monday. Okay, I'm trying to demarcate last week and 2 weeks ago so we can review the trade for last week. Okay, I just did that now. So this is all that happened last week here. I have that my zone. This is the previous the gold. This is my chart that I told you I don't want to remove my maps. I had to open another gold market to draw the zone all over again. As you can see, they all tally. You see, they all tally. So my zones are correct. All right, so okay, this is 1 hour, guys. This is 1 hour. Now let's review what happened last week. Then we can now go to spot the order block and fair value gap on the 1 hour time frame. All right, let's review what that happened. I think I would like to set my session divider I like to set my session divider. I removed all my tools, all the object on my chart, so everything wiped off. I wasn't expecting that though. So for those of you who have been wondering the session divider I use, all right, today of all days, the day doesn't want to respond. See, it's not responding. I'm tapping, it's not responding. Shit. Why? All right, let me refresh. Let's see. Let me refresh and see if it's gonna come up. Okay, I guess that was network. It's loading. Hold on, guys. We're going to set the session divider and then we're going to see how the market played out each day. Guys, do well to tap on the screen, okay? So the algorithm can skyrocket this live. Let me try again. Oh, it's not responding. All right, let's forge ahead. That doesn't stop anything. All right, okay. All right, so from here, this place to this spot was all that happened last week. It was all that happened last week. Finally, it's up, guys. We need to see all that happen every day, okay? We need to see all that happen every day last week. So let's set this. Open to. Give me a moment. So for those of you who have been wondering my session divider, which one I use, you can see on my screen. So I'm going to quickly set it now. So watch how I do my settings. Now it's delayed. Whoosh, sorry. Come on, give me settings. I can at least get off this line. Oh, finally. Because I don't want to have too many lines. Just watch how I'm doing the settings. Watch what I'm unmarking. This is New York. I think I need blue on my New York. Okay, no, not this blue, this one. London, I need white on my London. And then Tokyo should be okay. All right, this is okay. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right, so this is it. This is what happened on Monday, this one on Tuesday, this one on Wednesday, this one on Thursday, and then this one on Friday. All right. Okay, so it was on Monday. This guys threw that the two missiles. I think that move happened on Monday, which caused the market to look at just from the candlesticks. We're going to go to the actual. We're going to go to the actual setup. I just want to show you guys. Right now we're reviewing last week trade. That's what we're doing right now. So when we're done reviewing last week trade, we're now going to analyze the market. Okay, like spot order block and then analyze the market, know what to expect for this coming week. So from the look of this chart now, you see what happened. Okay, so Tokyo opened. Of course, New York likes to consolidate, and then the news happened, and I think that was the news from when Iran threw those two missiles at U.S. warship. Remember what I told you guys. Remember what I said, that other wars, if there's war like this, gold buy, because investors run to gold as safe haven. But this current war, this US and Iran war, gold is selling. So when they threw that missiles at US warship, you saw how the market dropped down. You see how the market dropped down here. And then from there, the market has been consolidating. Like whoever took trade on Tuesday, I'm sure took a loss, because this is not a good move at all. Do you understand? There was no move at all on Tuesday. And then see when this good move happened, when people were already sleeping, when people were already, resting, this wonderful move happened. It started in Sydney and then Tokyo, and then it consolidated in London and New York on Wednesday. All right. And then on Thursday, I just knew the market was not going to be well. Then the worst was on Friday. The worst was on Friday. Even NFP did not have any impact in the market. I looked at the chart. I'm like, what? What did I just? This is like the first time in a long time NFP doesn't have move. It was almost as though it was just normal candle momentum. No specialty of spike. None. No, you know what I mean by specialty. You know how NFP moves, how the market moves when the data is released? That's the specialty I'm talking about, because that hardly happens. So this was NFP, and see how the market, see now, no structure. This market was just in a box. It's only people who are desperate for, not just people who are desperate. I'm sure the market must have tricked a lot of people on their setup for those who trade candlesticks. Do you get? So, okay, all right. On Thursday and Friday, no good move. In fact, after this was the only, I was telling you guys on the channel, this is the only good move that happened last week. The only good move that happened last week. After which, from London that same day, market started moving crazily. Look at this. Just look at this. This is 1 hour time frame. Just look at it. Sometimes you just have to look at the higher time frame to tell the volume of the market. See, just look at this. This is crazy, man. You get, but don't fret, guys. Once this war is over, the market will be sweet to trade. Okay, once this war is over, the market will return to being sweet to trade. There's always time for everything. All right, so now we've analyzed the market for last week. Now let's now look for other blocks, mini order blocks. Because why is because if you want to wait for candle to, let me hide this session. Now, this is it, guys. On the 4 hour time frame, you take note of the market structure. On the 1 hour time frame, you spot the current trend. Okay, like this is 1 hour time frame now. Remember, we started from the daily time frame. Okay, and the daily time frame showed us it was bearish. The daily time frame showed it was bearish. Okay, and then the 4 hour time frame also showed it's bearish. Do you get? And then now we're currently on the 1 hour time frame, which shows us the current trend of the market. So what is the current trend of the market? A ranging market. What does that do? That gives you a heads up on when to take a trade and when not to take a trade. It gives you a heads up on like when to avoid the market. Like now, this is liquidity. Remember I told you guys, for those of you who are on the Telegram channel, when market was doing as if it wants to buy, I think that was during NFP. This is it. I always remember my move very well. So this is it, guys. I told you when NFP was like after the data came out, market was struggling to either buy or sell, right? And then it was not doing as if it wants to buy. And I told you guys, be careful, because this is liquidity. This is liquidity. And one moment it bought small, very small, and then it started retracing to the downside. This is liquidity. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this to still tell you again that this is the current trend of the market, range market. So that simply means when the market opens, you want to wait for a breakout. You don't want to take a trade in liquidity. I used to make that mistake. When, like, during the early stages. I didn't even know what liquidity was. I'll just enter trade and I'll be wondering, why is it not buying now? Why is it not selling? Why now? Why is it? Then later on, oh my God, market really consolidated here. Oh, market consolidated here. And then I was hearing traders then say, guys, it's wrong to take trade on liquidity. And indeed it is, because a lot of times I've been trapped in liquidity. So you want to wait for price to break above this liquidity here or below this zone here before you can tell that. Guys, hopefully, I am hopefully, how will I put this? This is how my hand is. My hands are crossed like this. I don't want to use the word pray, but I am seriously hoping that Iran or US don't come up with their nonsense news on Monday. I just pray they don't come up with their nonsense news on Monday that will affect the market. Because I really want this coming week to be very good, in the market and all that. So this is liquidity. Personally, if the market opens on Monday, I'm not going to take a trade until I see a breakout above this liquidity. This is a very strong zone. here, see, this is a very strong zone right here. This is liquidity. So except you're a scalper whereby you want to like take short trades, short buy, short sell, then good for you. I'm not a scalper, so I only scalp when gold price gets to a part like a certain level. I know it will definitely retrace from. That's how I do my scalping. If I really want to, it's risky because gold would always want to do what it likes to do. All right, so let's. Okay, so if you mark out your zones on the higher time frame, you may have to wait for a couple of weeks. Let me show you an instance before I proceed. Look at when this market formed the zone. Let's take a look at when market formed the zone. The market formed this zone on the 19th of March. You see, on the 19th of March. When did they now come back? When did they now come back to that zone to retest it? When? On the 8th of April. So that's an example I just showed you, okay? When you mark your zone on the higher time frame, right? You want to now come down to the lower time frame to see how you can mark your zones. All right. If you trade support and resistance, you can mark your support and resistance also on the 15-minute time frame, which enables you to take trade for that day. Okay, because if you want to wait for when price is going to get to your zones before you take a trade, that might take a month or few weeks. That's if you don't, you're like, as a trader, there's a stage you get to whereby you no longer take trades every day. You just wait for your setup to play out because you know if it plays out, it's good money for you. Let me show you an example. All right, guys, remember this zone, right? This zone that was created on the 19th of March, right? Now let's go to a smaller time frame and see how the market reacted here. Let's go. We're going to 15 minutes now. Now let's say you didn't trade all along from the 19th of March to April. You didn't trade all along because you're waiting for price to come to your zone. You only want to trade your zone and nothing else. And then eventually price came to that zone. It gave a candlestick formation. This was a reversal candlestick formation. Network. This was a reversal candlestick formation. So you want to take your sell trade from here, right? And set your SL. I'm trying to finally it has clicked. It's network. I think rain is about to fall or something. So you want to take your sell trade from here, from when the candle closed below the zone, and set your SL. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how you guys set your SL, but personally, if I enter a trade on gold, I don't like to set too big SL. It's really crazy. But you want to set your SL at the end of the candle that broke out. Okay, that's how I trade the zone. And then you want to target. This is the disadvantage of gold. This is a disadvantage of gold. Other pairs that respect FVG, once they touch that zone, they start dripping. Other pairs, not all pairs, but gold always like to, go back. Like I said, it has been forming M pattern structures a lot. And as you can see here, you see the M pattern. Are you seeing this M pattern? So you wouldn't have known that price would come back again to this zone. You would not have known that this move would happen. Okay, so we're not going to act like, oh, okay, this is I'm telling you what it is. I would have taken my sell trade from the moment this candle broke below here, and then target, where would I, because I know this is a very major zone. Okay, I know this is a very major zone, so I want to target the last gap. Looking at the candle, I see the gap market created. So that would have been my TP. But look what happened. Market only gave us 351 pips. 341 pips on gold, and then started retracing back to the upside. So yeah, this is 1:2. Are you seeing this? So from when price came down to 1:5, that was where I would have broken even on this trade. 1:5, that's where I would have broken even on this trade. Do you get? 1:5, that's where I would have break even on this trade. Now, I break even on this trade, and then the market started reversing against me. Okay, I would be hurt. I would yell. I would say, gold, Gold, why are you always like this? Why can't you just have one direction for once? Why can't you just move straight for once? Must you always trick? Must you always manipulate? Why can't you just go? That's what I'll say to myself, okay? But because I understand how this gold market works, I won't really panic. Of course, I would yell at gold for giving me a tricky, manipulative move. But this is what I'll do next. I'll wait again, because for price to, it's two things. It's two way. It's either it breaks above, or market is just trying to form a double top, because it's been forming a double top like it's a repeated pattern. It's a repeated pattern. So I would just wait for price to come and do whatever it wants to do, and then wait for another confirmation for an entry. Wait, because as long as it's back again to this zone, if it's not going to buy, it's going to give another confirmation for a sell entry. This is what happened. Spot this. First, this indecision candle, and then this engulfing candle, breaking again from the zone. Because I already know, because this has been happening, I already know how it works, how it moves. That's why I'll be patient for it to come do whatever I want to do and give me another entry, signal for an entry. So I would have taken my sell trade from here. I won't fear. I take my sell trade from here, target the last end of that candle, that candle as my SL, and then target that same place. Why? Because I know gold likes to fill up its gap. Did it get there or not? Did it get there or not? It's really not complicated. Just have a strategy and refine it, and understand what candles that pair prints when it gets to that zone. Did it get there or not? Yes, it did. How many pips? That's 1,072 pips on gold. 1,072 pips on gold. So whatever loss I may have had here, whatever loss I may have incurred here, I would have made more here. I would have recovered and made more here. Do you understand? That's why many of you who can't stand losses, I don't know how you guys do it, but if you really want to trade profitably, you have to embrace loss, because losses will always happen. Losses, you cannot dodge it. And the moment you find yourself always scared to hold trade for long, scared to take a trade because you don't want to lose, or you value your money, you're protecting your money, you don't want to lose, you will not make money. You will not make money. You can't have a fearful mind as a trader. Have that mind to lose. And as long as your entry is always right, you have your setup, don't be afraid to take a trade. So even when market kicked me out here, I would always want to enter again, because I've seen this kind of things happen a lot of times, especially on my zone. Do you get? So I'm going to delete this now. So this is the example I was trying to tell you about. Meanwhile, on other pairs, right? On other pairs, I respect this setup. Once you see this candle move, you see this formation, this reversal candlestick. Once that forms on that zone, from here, it forms on that zone, it's dropping. Nothing like, oh, let me go back and reverse and come back. Other pairs, I respect this setup. Once it touches it and gives a confirmation for a move, that gives you a confirmation candlestick for confirmation, that tells you that, okay, I'm about to make a move. It goes. It doesn't try to form any pattern on that zone. So this is gold for you anyway. So like I said, just know what works on your pair. All right, so I was trying to give you guys an illustration. I think that was an example I was trying to show you. There was something I was saying before. I now had to go back in time to show you guys an example. All right, so let's go to 1 hour time frame. So we're back to 1 hour time frame now. Okay, so I would like to mark out this place, because this is the beginning of this move. All right. As you can see, the market was creating fair value gaps. See the first fair value gap. See the second fair value gap. So what is the foundation? What is the building block of this long tower? This is it. This is the first block of this long tower. You want to mark that out. If you have your system, you can mark that out too. So the reason why you have to mark all these places, guys, can you hear the sound of the rain? It's actually raining though. I don't have my mic here, but I really hope you guys can hear me. I'm sure you can, because I'm very close to the mouthpiece. So if you have your system, you can also mark out the zone. Okay, So the reason why you're marking out this zone is because this is the last. This is the last. I'm coming. It's raining. This is the last order block. The last order block and fair value gap the market created. Now there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee that the market come back tomorrow or this week to fill it up. Okay, the market might just keep buying to the upside to the next zone. Okay, the market might keep buying to the next zone before it starts dropping. Now there's also another zone. I think it's been respected already. Let me see. Okay, no, it has not. It's not. I won't call it a major zone though. I won't call it a major zone, but I'm going to take note of it. You know why? Because this is gold. Gold likes to respect places like this. Gold likes to respect formations like this. It does. If gold should come up here to this level, there's going to be a reaction here. If gold should come up to this level, there'll be a reaction there. And that is why I like to take my scalp trade. That's why I like to scalp. Places like that, not just that though. So, like I said, always wait for a confirmation when price gets to your zone before you take a trade. Don't just enter trade because you mark your zone and price got there. No, price might break above that zone or below that zone. So let me tell you guys something, guys. This is where the market is right now. If buyers should take this market to the upside, anything you see, anything that takes this market way above this level, anything that takes this market above here, okay, above here, are you listening? Above here, because these are the current highs right now. So we're calling that mini break of structure. So anything that makes the market breaks above this and keeps going up, just know where it is going to. That's just the point of what I'm saying. Have a clue of where the market is heading to. It's a skill on its own, which not everyone knows. Not everyone know where market is going to before it retrace. They just see market moving. That's why you will enter a trade and you're scared to hold it. You're scared to hold. One of my investors was like, but I saw $500 in profit. Then suddenly the trade ended in minus. It ended in small profit. What happened? Whenever I see you, whenever I check your chart, I don't know if she's on this live. She'll be like, whenever she checks the chart and sees that I'm in good profit on her account, the next, if she checks again, she'll now see that it's closed, like the profit is no longer there, it closed small. That was that period Trump and Iran were going back and forth, where one moment you're in profit, next moment price is reversing back. So I told her, I said it's the market. It's the market. That's the reason why you can be in profit and the next in market is retracing back to your entry. Do you get? So this is it, guys. There was something I was saying before I said that. I gave that example. My mind is on this rain and it's so loud over here. So if the market, if buyers should take this price up, guys, watch out. Anything that makes, if you check this market by the open of to the Monday market, Sydney session, and you see buyers are seeming like they're the ones in the market, this is where you have to target. This is where you have to target. This is it. This is it right here. Market's going to react here. But take note of this. Anything that... Okay, hold on for me. Okay, hold on for me. Oh, I didn't know it was slow. Okay. Can you see me? No, me. The screen. Guys, can you see the screen? Can you see the screen? Guys, can you see the screen? Hold on. Oh, great. Someone has replied. Okay. Someone just replied. All right, great. So let's forge on. Sorry, the device I was using for to get network went off. I didn't know it was low. Okay, so let's continue. So I was going to change the color of this zone here. So because there are two zones there, and I need you to know which one is which. All right, I think this is better. So let's continue. So I was talking about how I scalp gold. Okay, can you guys see me? No, not me. Can you guys see the chart? Can you see the screen? Okay, the screen is clear. All right, so let's continue. So this is it. You might want to mark this place. Why are we marking this place? Because there's a fair value gap here. There is a fair value gap here between this first candle and this one here. Between this first one and this one here. So there's a gap here, okay? So this is it. A lot has already happened here. It doesn't stop me from marking that same zone. When price gets to that zone, to this zone, there are two things I'll be expecting. Two things. It's either the market respect it. Let me show you what's going to happen if it happens that way. Hold on. Okay, so from where this market is right now, it might likely open from this zone here, as usual. It might just likely open from this zone here, okay? Because lately it's been creating gaps, but it always goes back to fill it. Or from here, it might get to the zone. So there are two things I'm expecting from this when price gets to the zone. So I'm not looking to take a trade from the zone with the blue line because it has already been respected and even disrespected. Okay, now this is a fresh zone. The one with the white line is a fresh zone. A mini zone, please. A mini zone. There is major zone, there is a mini zone. So it's a mini zone, all right? So two things I'm expecting. When price gets to the zone, I'm going to carefully watch how it's going to react there. Okay, I'm not really expecting price to retrace from here. Even if it does, I won't sell for long. Do you get? Because practically I'm expecting there's no saga this weekend between Iran and US. There's no saga this weekend, except there is a saga on Monday, of which if there is no saga news on Monday, if there is no sudden crazy news on Monday, I think buyers will dominate this market. Yeah. Remember, gold was only dumping because of the war. So if there is no trace or news regarding the war, if there's no trace of the war or news regarding it, buyers will be back in. The market will pump. The market will pump. The market will pump. So if the market does not respect this zone here, let me give it another color. If market does not respect the blue zone, why do I have that blue zone there? As you can see here, this is why I have that blue zone, right? The foundation of this sell trade, okay? The foundation of this sell move. You might want to mark it and watch what I was telling you guys about. If price should come touch this line here, scalp gold, scalp it. There's going to be a reaction from here. I'm not saying to reverse from here and drop down. It might not. But if you want to scalp gold, I just showed you where gold is 100% going to react from. All right? Okay, so let's forge ahead then. I'm going to delete this right now. Oh, sorry. let me delete this. But if this, let me show you guys another thing. We're already doing the analysis, but we're done with the review. So this is the actual analysis, okay? So from the way this price is right now, remember, for those of you who have been on this live from the beginning, I mentioned this zone, and I told you guys why price has not closed below and what to look out for if price should close below the zone. So this is what you should look out for. If a candle on the higher time frame closes below the zone, I said on the higher time frame, please, on the higher time frame. Why? Because you see this week on the smaller time frame was actually a full body candle that tricked us to think, oh, price was going to sell, but it just reversed. Okay, it went all the way back up. So you want to wait for a higher time frame candle to close below this line in order to tell you sellers are actually in this market. So, and if that happens, two things involved. You know, this is gold. Gold is unpredictable, unlike some other pairs that you can easily predict it. You know, this is what's going to happen. If sellers are in this market and the price comes way below this zone, this is what's going to happen. Two things would likely happen. Not two things. One of these two things will likely happen, okay? The first thing, when a full body candle closes below that zone, it will want to retrace to the upside to test, back to the zone to test. Are you seeing this? Even this support level here. So you might want to retrace to touch that place and keep selling to the downside. So if you see it selling, just know the next zone. If you can tell the next checkpoints, the next checkpoint of the market, the next stop and check. Different countries have a name for it, but over here it's called checkpoint. If you can spot and know the next checkpoint of a move, then you're a good trader. So if sellers should enter this market, I already know where it's coming down to. So it's either I'm following it down to this zone here that we draw on the 1 hour time frame, or I'll be waiting for it to get here, give me a confirmation for a buy, and then take the buy back to the upside. And if it gets to this place and it gives us a confirmation for a buy, it might just likely form a W, because it likes to form a chart pattern lately. It likes to form a chart pattern. Might just form a W chart pattern that tells you, okay, buyers are in, okay? And then if that happens, that buyers are in from this zone, this is the next zone it will come to. Apparently just came to get more demand, just came to get more order to the upside, okay? So I have a zone here and I have a zone here. There's a fair value, an order block here, and also a fair value gap. So if buyers are in this market, there are two possibilities right now for this week. This is the analysis. If buyers are in this market, this is where price is going to react from. This pink zone here. The blue one is not valid anymore because it has already been tested, but it's still good to leave it there to still see how a price is going to react there, because I won't be surprised if price retraces from there to the downside. It will only make this zone. It will mean that there's a lot happening on this zone. That this zone is a very strong zone. Already is a resistance zone, and order block turn resistance. Okay, already is a resistance zone. So if price should get back to that zone again, and refuses to break above it from here, retraces down to the downside, then that means that's a very solid zone. This is a very, very solid zone. Already it has 3 touches, even more than 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next one might just break above. So that's why I may not really give so much regard to the pink zone, but I know there's going to be a reaction. Even though there's no reversal, like price will not start selling from there, there's going to be a reaction to the downside a little bit before it's a continuous push. That's if buyers are stronger, right? Like I said, price might just get to this same zone and start dropping to the downside, okay, to fill up this one it created on Friday, to fill up this move in Sydney session that was created in Sydney session. Are you seeing? This is another block. Apparently, it might just be coming to fill it up first before it keeps going to the upside, okay? Perhaps the market might open as a sell. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Market might open on Monday as a sell. But if it opens as a sell, take note of where it's going to reverse from. Okay, take note of the next zone it's coming down to. Okay, so you can either follow it to the next zone, or you wait for it to get to the next zone before you take a buy trade if it shows a confirmation. That's number one. Okay, the second probability is if it should start as a buy and it keeps going up, there's going to be a reaction up here before it drops to the downside, or a breakout. That if it doesn't go way below, like, it might just come down a little bit, react here, and then shoots to the upside. That's the day that buyers are strong. And what did I tell you guys? Remember this pink line I drew? Do you guys, for those of you who started this live stream with me, remember how we had this pink line? That's the last low. So if a candle should break above, this is the next zone. All right, I trade zones. There are many other strategies, but this is my own. This is the one I focus on. You may have yours. You don't have to trade mine. Just focus on trading yours and refine your own strategy. All right, so for those of you who trade zones, I just showed you the possibility and the probability of. I want to connect the Wi-Fi now. So there might be a little glitch. Because I want to switch the network. Okay, guys, I bet you can see the screen now. Can you see me? No, why do I always say can you see me when I'm not the one on the screen? Why do I always say can you see me? All right, guys, can you see the screen? All right, great. So this is it. The first probability is if it's to the downside. Remember, I said the higher time frame. The breakout has to happen on the higher time frame. Ignore the breakout from the lower time frame. So it has to, if it this is the first probability, all right, and then this is the second probability, okay. But also watch out if this zone gets disrespected by maybe price breaks above it, okay, to the upside, it will come back to retest here. Do you know why? Because it's a very strong resistance zone. There's like 5 touches on this zone, the blue zone. There's 5 touches there. So you might want to take a trade from the buy, or maybe wait for a reversal before you take a buy trade, only on confirmation to the next zone. So for those of you who started this live with me, I'm sure you remember why we have this zone here, because I had to draw these zones all over again from the beginning. So as you can see here, this is a very valid zone. It has not been mitigated yet. This is the next valid zone. First it was this one, but price has respected it here. You see it here, right? Price has already respected it here. So this is the next one here, which price will heavily react on to the downside. So this is where I would likely take my sell trade from. And as you can see on this other gold chart, I have my positions already waiting for me there. It's loading. I have my positions already waiting for me there. So now let's go to this is 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, it's only one order block I see. You see, I've marked that out. All right. I'm going to delete all these lines right now, or maybe I should leave it because I would like to see how price reacts on that when market opens. I'll leave that like that. Okay, so as I was saying here, this zone has been tested. The pink zone, like I said, you have to draw your zones on the 4 hour time frame, the 1 hour time frame, even on the 15-minute time frame, or the block. Take note of all the blocks, okay? Yeah. So the pink one is still a virgin. It's a virgin this thing. The pink zone is a virgin zone. The blue one has been tested already. But because the pink is just close to the blue one, I'm thinking I don't predict the market. I mean, no one knows the market. So because there's like it's close. Price might not even reverse from here. It might just break above. But like I told you, if it breaks above this zone entirely, just wait for it to retest that zone because it is a very strong resistance zone. See the multiple touches. I see the multiple touches. So it's a very strong resistance zone. So once there's a breakout above, now it has to break above that line, above the blue line, because that's the last higher, the last low. Sorry, that's the That's the previous high. That is the previous high. So a candle has to break above the previous high. Then you wait for retest back to the zone it broke out from. Then target the next zone. Okay. So if I don't take a buy trade from here to the next zone, I will wait for price to get here. Apparently, price might just want to come touch here first before it now comes down to fill this other gap it created on last week. So you know what? Don't let all these things scatter your brain. Okay? It's one step at a time. All right? It is one step at a time. Let me give this one a different color. What I mean by one step at a time is this. Let us first see how the market is going to open up as, okay? We'll see how the market will open up as. Then if it breaks below this zone, we already know where it's coming to. We just want to wait for price to get here, give us a confirmation for an entry. All right? One step at a time. But if it breaks above, we wait for a confirmation entry here to the downside. Confirmation, okay? Get why? If it breaks above, we wait for a comfort. So don't cast your mind far, far, far. Just let's look at where the market is right now. Take note of your zones and wait for price to get there. Okay. So now let's go down to 15 minutes. This is 15-minute time frame. So this was the zone I was telling you about. I was telling you guys about the trick that happened. Where is that trick? There was a full body candle that closed below this zone. Is this not? This is not. Okay, this is it. You know, gold have different markets. That pair, gold, it has different market. Like this one now, this is Ohanda. This is Ohanda. The one I was doing the analysis on is capital.com. As you can see on capital.com, the zone was respected. No candle broke below. But let's go to Ohanda. See Ohanda. This fake candle move that made us to have a loss last week. This was the candle that tricked us. This candle here. So I'm done with how many hours now? Okay, 1 hour. This is 1 hour, few minutes. Okay, it's not up to 1 hour, 30 minutes yet. Is it? 60 minutes would make 1 hour. Okay. Okay, so let's go to BTC. Before we go to BTC, let's take a look at this gold. Okay, let me look at this first. Let me look at this. Let me go to goldcapital.com. Looks like this. Anyway. Ohanda is still good. Gold Ohanda is still good. So I'm not going to dispute that fact. See here. Nothing would have made us take that sell trade, the second sell trade here. This was the first sell trade we took on Wednesday. I told you guys this candle signifies sellers are in. Take a sell. Target the next order block. Which, yeah, it's the candle here on this other gold moves differently from the candle on the Ohanda. But the zones are the same. Okay, so now this is 15 minutes. Okay, look at this now. This is 15 minutes. Are you seeing the gap? We already have our zones, but are you seeing this gap? Are you seeing this gap? So you now see anything that makes this market anything that makes sellers bring down this market to the downside. This is the gap. This is the gap it's coming to fill. All right, see, that's the gap it's coming to fill. This is the gap it's coming to fill. So as you can see on the 15-minute time frame, the candle is so huge. It's a huge candle. This is an imbalance between the first candle and the third candle. This is an inefficiency. All right. So the market has created an inefficiency of which we don't know when it's going to come down to, respect or fill up that gap. But however, we're going to follow the market one step at a time. So the most important thing is to mark your zones and just wait for market to get there. Okay. And then you trade it when you see confirmation for an entry. So now let's go to BTC. We're done with gold. Amazing. Whoa. Okay, BTC broke above. Okay. I already had my zones drawn. I'm just going to extend this. So all this move happened Saturday and Sunday on BTC. So let's go to a higher time frame. So BTC is always moving. It doesn't ever take a break. It's always on the move. So BTC did move well. It did move well on last week, unlike gold. It had a good move. We made profits on BTC. So this is daily time frame, and it shows buyers are in the market already. The trend of the market is an uptrend. Okay, the trend of the market is an uptrend. I hope this chart is not too busy. Let me go to another BTC. Let me just delete all this line. I'm coming. Let me just delete all this session break. Because when there's too many lines like that, you can get confused. It's only the person that drew the line that can understand it. Why they have that line there. I'm just going to delete. Okay, so this is all that happened. This is daily time frame. So as you can see the structure of this market. It's an uptrend, okay? Creating higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, okay? So there's a zone here which market respected. This is a zone. Market respected the zone here, okay? That was where we took that trade on BTC, on the VIP. That was where we took the trade. That gave us 1,000 pips. The market later went over 2,000 pips on that setup. So let's go to 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, so this is what you're seeing here. Don't get confused. Let me show you something, okay? So on the 4-hour time frame, let me change this to blue so I can easily explain something to you. You see the white zones. The white zones are for 4-hour, okay? Then these blue zones are just trades that, like setups that we can, while we're waiting for price to reach our zone, while waiting for price to reach our higher time frame zone, let's be seeing small, trade to be taken for the day. That's what these zones mean. Now, as we proceed, I'm going to explain to you guys why we have the zone and how BTC has respected the zone so far. So BTC is very, very, is highly known for respecting zones. Making it very sweet to trade. Okay. All right. So let me delete all this because all this came much later. It came much later. So all these zones were not here initially. All these zones were not here. This was the only valid zone. This one here. So market did, at the time, market was somewhere here. We didn't get to that zone. It was when price got to that zone that we started to take a sell trade down, okay? So now, I just want to show you how the chart was before the blue zones came in. So now I'm going to reverse these charts to, then you will now see why I had those blue zones there, okay? All right, before we proceed, let's look at 1-hour time frame based on the zone. So the reason, this is BTC, okay? As you've seen already, the trend of the market is an uptrend, all right? So there was an order block here. There's an order block here, which the market came down to test. I didn't take this trade. I literally saw it play out and start going my way. I was like, what was wrong with me? I would have enjoyed this buy trade, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay, maybe because I was calculating my risk. I should have taken it anyway because it came down. There was a zone here. I'm coming. Because I had a zone here. Of which when price was dropping down, I knew this was where it was going to trace from. And of which, look at what happened. It did. Look at this confirmation. This is the reversal confirmation that told me buyers were in. I did set my position, but I was waiting for more, like a stronger confirmation. Maybe the price should retrace again back to the zone. I was waiting for price to retrace again back to the zone so I could take a trade. You get? So I missed it. Price just, played out. So I told myself next time, even if it's too far, I'm still going to enter that trade, except it's ridiculously far. So there's also another order block right here. Okay, there's also a fair value gap. So that's the reason for this zone. That's the reason for that zone. So let me just keep taking it back so that all the zones be restored, and I'll explain to you guys why all those zones are there. And then we'll look out for, possible plays price is going to react to so we can take trades from this week. Let me be sure these zones are restored. Okay, yeah, all these zones were restored since, and I didn't know. Okay, so let me explain why all these zones first. Then we'll now do analysis to know where to take trades on BTC for this week, okay? Let me just explain why we have these zones here. So I've already explained the reason for this zone, this one here, okay? This is 15-minute time frame. So as you can see what happened here, all this move had already happened. All this move had already happened before I came to draw this zone here, okay? As you can see, market respected here twice. Broke, came again to retest it. This is a valid zone, a resistance turn support zone. Even though it didn't happen on a higher time frame, it's clear on the 15-minute time frame. So of course I won't neglect it. I marked there as my zone. See how price has been coming to respect it. I didn't take all these trades. Okay, I was just observing to see how markets, is like how it's reacting on that zone. So eventually it broke. But I didn't take this one. This was the one. If you joined the live stream, the live stream I did on Telegram, at the time this price was somewhere around here, and I told you guys that price was heading back to this zone. At the time, price was somewhere around here. I told you guys price was heading back to this zone. That I was thinking to take a sell trade from here. That when price gets here, there's going to be a sell down. And that was what happened. So if we're calculating from this entry to where price actually got to, let's see how many pips that is. That's 600 pips. That is 600 pips. Okay, on BTC. All right, so why do I have this zone here? First off, for those of you who are on my channel, I always sing this out loud a lot of times, that markets repeat itself. The markets have a way of repeating itself. Okay, so as you can see here, this are resistance zone. Markets showed difficulty to break above here. Three times. 1, 2, and 3. And then finally it broke above. It retested that zone. All right, retested that zone. It went up. And then it came back again. Could not break below. So this is a very valid zone. That was the reason why I was confident to take a trade when price gets back to this zone. For this sell that played out. All right, so look at these two. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 touches. 4 touches. Making this place another resistance zone. Finally, it broke above. Tested higher time frame zone. Now, you see all this zone here? This support resistance, these are mini zones. Okay? These are mini zones. Not really major. Meaning you can choose to skip, you can choose to trade. These are mini zones. Just zones where you zones that can, enable like something. If you want to trade like for that day, if you want to take trades on that day, you just mark zones on the smaller time frame, and then okay. All right. So just like what happened here was what made me mark out this place. Now take note of what I'm saying. Just like what happened here was what made me mark out this place, meaning I don't trade support and resistance. Otherwise, my higher time frames will be full of support and resistance. I don't trade support and resistance. But I see that last week, the market has been creating and respecting support and resistance. Now, when I backtested the market, I realized that this hardly happened. So apparently it just happened. It just happened to happen last week. Okay? This hardly happened. Not as if in all the charts or maybe next week it's going to always play out like this, easy to spot support. No, it's not always going to be like this. Okay, so yeah, as you can see here, breakout happened, and then price, if buyers really wanted to be in this market, if buyers really wanted to take this market to the upside, nothing would have brought nothing. When you spot your zones, I told you guys on Telegram channel, if price disrespect your zone, it's either it wants to keep buying or selling. That depending on where you drew your zone, it's either it wants to keep moving, or it's just trying to it just failed because of maybe that day or that days, maybe there's a news or something, just wanted to be manipulative or something. Do you get? So okay, so as I was saying, if buyers were really in this market from when it broke out from here to the upside, perhaps when it came back down here, let's draw this, it broke out to the upside and then it came back here. It came back down here. From here, it should have kept buying all the way up. Do you get? But the fact that it broke below the zone, you see this zone. When you have your zone, if price is not buying, then it's going to sell. It's as simple as that. So it broke below this zone. It liquidated and then finally broke below it. What happened? Look at how we went. Give me a moment. Okay, so that's how I understand the market, all right? Everybody have their ways of understanding the market, but okay, my own way of understanding the market does not need to make sense to you, but it's okay. Like, just do what works for you. So price got there. That's how I can tell you that sellers are in, buyers are not strong enough. Like I said, if buyers really wanted to, if buyers were really strong in this market, nothing would have made this price go back below this zone. Nothing. A zone is a zone. A zone is highly respected. So if it's not respected to keep going in in the one direction, it means the other party are in. So from when there was a break below here, I just knew sellers were in this market. Because I was already out of the market. I think this move happened at towards the end of New York. The day was rounding off. That's why the market consolidated like this. I was already out after we took our profit. And then see how it sold. It sold to the next zone. Right? It sold to the next zone. It came back up. Now look at what I am showing you. Okay? Like, understand the patterns of the market. It will guide you to know what to look out for and where to take your trade. Okay, now after it broke out from this first zone here, retested it, came back to this downside. Are you seeing remember why we have this support zone here? The resistance zone turned support. Remember why we have this zone here, right? And then look at this. It went back up. You see how we respected this same zone. Look why we had this zone. You see these 4 touches, making this place a very strong resistance zone. You see it here, making this place a very strong resistance zone. See how price reacted here before this breakout. And so when a price came back to this other zone here, and then it went all the way up, it did not break above. It just came up there to respect that place and started dropping down. I'm going somewhere. Hold on. So it started dropping down, yeah? And then for some reason, it just got stuck there. The market got stuck there. When it broke below this zone here, the resistance that turned support, and then finally it broke below that zone. What did it do? It went back up to test it. It's not difficult to trade. But then this thing I'm showing you does not always happen on all pairs. It doesn't happen on all pairs. You see this move, this clean move of it respect this zone, it broke below this zone, it went back to this zone, like you can easily predict it. You see this move? Don't try it on gold. Gold would disgrace you. Don't try it on gold. It's a master tricker. Don't try it on gold, please. So it's from here, it went back up. This was where I was seeking to take my sale, which I missed. I missed 2 setup entry on BTC this Friday. Friday. So it went up to test up. It did not break. It didn't break. It tested. When I say tested, it means if you go to a smaller time frame, this is 15 minutes, you will see confirmation for a sale. Not that, you expect, you don't ask the question of, how did you know it was going to retrace here? First of all, how did I know it was going to retrace here? Number one, I have a zone here. Price has been reacting on this spot. That was why I drew a zone there. That's number one. Then number two, a candle confirmation. That was how I knew it was going to retrace here. Okay? That's how you know. So it's not a guess trade. So from here, it went back here. And then if you look at, let me spread this. Let me spread this now. Guys, this zone was not here before. I saw what happened here. And I had to draw that zone here. Why? Because, okay, look at this. The first touch, see, okay, it came down here, went to the upside. It came back again, went to the upside. It came back the third time, went to the upside. Okay, there's something going on here. Why is market refusing to break below here? There's something happening there. Okay, I have 3 touches already. That makes it valid. I marked that place as my support zone. I marked here as my support zone because it's now valid. 3 touches. And you know why I did that? Another reason why I did that, I could as well ignore it, right? I could have as well ignored it. But the reason why I marked that place because from the week pattern, from the pattern printing this week, I told you guys if you can spot the pattern from the early week, then you'll be able to trade that pair well, because the market always repeats a particular pattern for the week. Okay, so look at the pattern it's been printing this last week. resistance, breakout, retest, move, resistance, breakout, break below, retest, keep moving. So look at the pattern. Look at the first pattern here. Look at the first pattern here. Look at the second pattern here. The resistance now became support. Multiple touches, broke above, came down, retested that same place, making this place a valid one. Okay? And then finally it broke below the support zone where it was finding it difficult to break below before. Finally, there was a breakout. Are you seeing this? And then what happened? It now went to respect the place it broke out from. Trading is really not that hard though. It went back to retest the place it broke out from. Look at this. Would you have, let me ask you, would you have taken a trade from this candle? Be honest. Guys, for those of you who have been paying attention, be honest. Let's say maybe you know how to read a candlestick, yeah? And then you see this doji form. Would you have taken a sell trade from here? Don't answer based on what you're seeing on the chart. Just imagine all this did not happen. And then you see this, would you have taken a sell trade there? Let me know. Let me know. I'm in the comments. Let me know. Someone said this. Blue says, yes, it's scalp. Values only said no. Okay. Michael is honest. He said yes. Emmy Dollar says yes. Nabuka says no. Ifeanyi says no. Okay. I want to believe you guys have your reasons for yes and no answer. Okay, for those of you who say you'd have taken a sell trade here, let me tell you something. You're saying yes because you're seeing this move. But a professional trader knows to not take a sell trade from here, even though, yes, it moved. You know why? Because this price never entered your zone. So what makes you think that from this candle here, it was going to come all the way down? What makes you think so? Your strongest confirmation would have been when it touched. See, this candle never touched this zone. So get your entries right. If not, market will keep kicking you out. Now, let me delete this line. Why was I waiting for price to get here before I take a sell? Now, this is the kind of trade you can enter with confidence. You enter with confidence and hold that trade because you know price has entered your zone. You know price has entered your zone and now gave you confirmation for an entry. You understand? You confidently hold that trade. And look at this. Now, I saw how price reacted here. Okay? I marked out the zone before price even got to the zone, my POI. I was waiting for price to get here so I can take a sell trade, but I missed it because I was attentive to gold. So I missed the sell trade. I'm not going to act as if I took a trade when I did not. Okay? All right. So I missed the sell trade because I was attentive to gold, right? And then before price even got there, I had already marked out my zone here. So I already know, okay, price has been reacting here. Of course, I won't hold this trade for long. I'm going to take my TP here, and I'm going to watch out for confirmation for a buy entry. Why? Because price has been reacting here. I missed the second entry too. Why? I was attentive to gold, NFP. And it was NFP had finished, but I was just looking at gold. I was looking for possible setup so we can, trade it together. So look at this. This candlestick formation shows buyers were in the market, and the first confirmation was a candlestick. No, the first confirmation is this was the zone. There was many reaction here. All right. Now I don't trade support and resistance, but last week it called for support and resistance trading. Do you understand? Now, I could as well maybe ignore and wait for when price is going to come down to my zone before I take a trade. But come on. It may not happen that day. So when you see a possible setup, you have to take it. As long as it's not guess trading. This is a simple mathematics of support and resistance in trading, of which every beginner, that's what the first thing you get to learn, support and resistance. Do you understand? So I marked out this zone here and I said to myself, okay, since I missed this entry here, I'm going to watch out for price action here. I'll watch to see what price is going to do when it gets here, because there's been multiple touches here. There's been many reactions here. So I'm going to watch out to see what happens here. And then I saw this candle form. At the time I came to the mark to BTC, price was already up here. I didn't know if I should vex or cry. I didn't know. You know that moment when you are waiting for something to happen and then you come back to it, you see that it happened and it left you. At that point, I didn't know what to. So entering this buy trade from here, I would have targeted here. This is where I would have targeted because of this fair value gap and all. And I'm very sure this move happened in a flash. This move back to this zone happened in a flash. So now this is Saturday and Sunday. Let's see what happened on Saturday and Sunday. I don't trade Saturday and Sunday, but I want to see how how market reacted on this zone. Okay, so you see what I said. Once price react on a zone first time, every other touches after that, ignore it. This would have been a trick. This would have been a trick manipulation, right? So this was the most valid one. When price broke below this, when price broke out from this support level, this move failed to touch it. Yes, it did as though he wanted to touch it, but it reversed halfway. So that's not valid. But this was more valid. This one was more valid because it touched it. It dropped down, gave us a doji, a gravestone doji. That shows, okay, these people are in the market. Enter now. This was like a showing. So BTC is more like easy. It's stable and easy to predict. I tell my community that. So I just deleted that zone now. And I'm going to delete this too because it's been disrespected and also disrespected now. So this is the next one now. Okay, just like this. Would you say you take a buy trade here? You can't take a buy trade here because it hasn't touched the zone. You've got to respect zones. You've got to respect zones. Don't say, okay, it's close to the zone. Even if it got here and it retraced so deep, that trade is not a good trade. Leave it. It's not. You don't have to take all trade. Leave it. Wait for the one that will touch the zone. Then you can now strike. But I would say you have to be careful. You have to, this is BTC. You have to be careful trading this zone again. All right. Even if you want to trade it, watch out for confirmation, candle confirmation, okay, before you trade this zone. The reason why I say you have to be careful trading that zone is because there's already been a lot of reactions there already, more than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 reactions. So you want to be careful trading that zone, okay? Just wait for the market to give a better setup on Monday and then mark your new zones, especially the ones, and even the ones, okay, I already have my zones marked out already on BTC. I said I was not going to be analyzing BTC on the live. I just happened to be in a good mood today, which was why I asked, should we analyze BTC today? Usually it's just good. I analyze on live and then go off. So like I said, I'm coming. Sorry. So like I said, be careful when price gets to the zone. Okay, there's already been a lot of reaction here, so it may not really respect the zone again. Okay, so what you want to do is just wait for Monday. Wait for Monday, New York. All right, because right now, in 2 or 3 hours, 9, 10, in 3 hours from now, the market's going to be open. BTC sometimes doesn't move well in Tokyo, so you want to wait for New York to open before you now take a trade. Let me see if there's any other block here. This is 15 minutes. Let's go to 1 hour. Let me see if there's any other block there. Okay, yeah, there is. I see a fair value gap there. So I might not really mark that as a major. I might just, let me leave a line there. I will just wait to see how price is going to react there. That's it. I'm just going to wait to see how price is going to react there. Not like I'm going to take a trade there. Most likely, the market might just be coming up to fill up that gap. Yes, BTC respects fair value gaps to fill up this gap and then have its drastic fall to the downside, depending on the news. Depending on US and Iran. So I'm going to delete this. All right. Okay. So most importantly, right, I look out for zones on the higher time frame because those ones are more sure than the wait. When it comes to BTC, even 15-minute time frame zone, very important. there was a zone. Okay, the beginning, the foundation of this buy trade, that was, I missed it. Let me see if I can still see it. I missed, my trading community and I, we're waiting for this buy trade. This is it. All right, guys, this is 15-minute time frame. Yeah, so this was our zone on the 1 hour time frame. This is the last I'm doing. So this was our zone on the 1 hour time frame. And then I came down to 15-minute time frame to wait for entry, and I spotted this order block here. I see the gap. This candle never came to close it. Let's go to 1 hour time frame first. Let me show you something. All right, this is 1 hour time frame candle. This is 1 hour time frame order block. That's it there. All right, so I'm going to turn 1 hour time frame order block to the line. I'll change the line to blue. All right, so the blue is the 1 hour time frame. I marked it. When I marked it, I went down to 15 minutes to wait for an entry. So when I went down to 15 minutes, this was what I saw. This is BTC. This was what I saw. So I've been communicating that with you guys on the Telegram channel. For those of you who were there, I told you, okay, on the VIP, sorry, on the VIP. I'm coming. So on the 15 minutes time frame, I now spotted is like this order block that was never visible on the higher time frame. I marked that place. Now look, let's now see what happened. That's 15-minute order block. Oh, you get the message I'm trying to pass? That you can also draw your zones from the 15 minutes. Markets always like BTC, gold, these pairs, I know they always go to fill their gaps. All right, so look what happened. Market came down to 1 hour time frame. There was a reaction there, a reaction to the upside that gave how many pips? Now I was on a sell trade. My TP was somewhere here. Okay, my TP was somewhere here, but market didn't get there. It retraced from there. Okay, and so my first TP was somewhere here, and then this 15-minute order block was my second TP. But price only touched the 1 hour order block and reversed. So with these candlesticks right now, this is a new let me hold that. Okay, so this right would have been the SL. Let's see how far the market went. So I would have been targeting the next high. This was the next high. That was if this 15-minute candle wasn't there, if this 15-minute order block was not there, this is where I would have taken my trade. But the reason I did not take this trade was because I was still expecting price to come down to fill the 15-minute gap. Do you understand? That was why I didn't take this trade, because I didn't want a situation whereby I'm taking a buy trade here and then market is reversing to hit me out just to come close here. So I just wanted the final gap to be closed up before I take a trade. But let's just say this 15-minute order block wasn't there. We wanted to take a buy trade from the 1 hour time frame. This is to target the next high, or maybe 1 to 3. Maybe you don't want to go much. Just target 1 to 3. Target 1 to 3. You make your profits. That's 887 pips. Or you target the next high. How many pips is that? That's 1,500 pips. 1,528 pips on BTC. Wait, that's not what I want to show you. I'm just showing you how the setup works, right? Now, let me show you the actual thing now. The price later come down to respect the 15-minute zone or not? The price later come down to respect the 15-minute order block or not? Did it? The pink one is the 15 minutes. The blue one is the 1 hour. It did. So when I tell you the market likes to fill up its gap, someone says just blew my. Why would you blow your account? Did you trade on Sunday? Did you trade today? It did. The market always likes to fill up its gap. So you see, it didn't go. Look at this. Look at where this move stopped. Are you seeing where this move stopped? Look at where the move stopped. And then market now came down to the 15 minutes order block to fill up the gap. I missed this trade. Truth be told, I was in church when this happened. I was literally waiting for it. Now, this long red candle was as a result of FOMC. This long red candle was as a result of FOMC. So I was literally waiting for price to come back here from when price was around here. I told the people in the VIP my VIP channel, I said, guys, this is my entry point. Anything that makes sellers come bring this price to this last zone, this is where I'm going to take my buy. I waited. It didn't seem like it was happening because FOMC was, shortly after. Like I said, the price was here at the time. So you can see the consolidation. right? So I wasn't thinking this move will eventually happen before the day ended, before New York closed. I didn't know it was gonna happen. I had to go clear myself. I went to church, and then around 8 o'clock was when this move happened. That was when I left church. I was coming back to the house. This move happened. So I tried to I tried to jump in because I know it was gonna be a long buy. What happened? Are you seeing the long buy? Are you seeing the long buy? Guys, are you seeing the long buy? When I tell you BTC is a stable pair to trade, I wasn't kidding. I didn't put water in my mouth to talk. You see this long buy? I tried to catch it here. I remember very well. Because of this move, because of this setup, I had to stay up till 4 a.m. When I came back from the church and I saw this move happen that I missed, I was hoping to catch it because I knew it was going to buy long because this was the final gap. This was like the final gap. The 1 hour gap was respected. I'm coming. The 1 hour order block was respected here, but it didn't go far. For price to come back down again, obviously it's coming to fill the 15-minute order block. And I knew it was going to go far because that was the last one. That was the last one. At the time, this one. I just knew it was going to go far. So this was my target here. I wish I took it from here. When I think about this trade, I'm hurt. So I had to stay up till 4 a.m., right? I stayed up till 4 a.m. because I wanted to jump in on this trend. This is what we call sniper. You're not entering blindly. You're entering from the foundation. From the foundation. Just take a look at that. So I entered the buy trade from here after staying up till 4 a.m. But look what happened. My SL was just way above. I think about 300 or thereabout. It kicked me out. I was asleep when it happened because I was, my mindset was, all right, I'm going to wake up to see me. Market must have gone far to see me in profit. Or I'm going to wake up to see me in profit, But hey, even in my dream, I'm not going to lie. Even in my dream, I saw the setup. I saw loss. So when I woke up, I said, what is this? So market hit us out here. Right? I was like, and not just hitting us out here. Now there was another confirmation for this buy, the final buy, the final confirmation. That, okay, I'm ready now, no. Join me, oh. I'm about to take a ride, oh. This is it. From this engulfing candle. This engulfing candle, if I was awake and I saw this candle, I would have entered again. Engulfing candle in a zone. Wow. All right. This would have been my next entry. Why? Because price is still on my zone. So I'm looking out for a possible entry because it's not going to be on that zone forever. There's going to be a break. So I need an entry confirmation. All right. To tell you I was asleep. What time did this happen? This happened at 6:30 a.m. Before the open of London. This happened at 6:30 a.m. I slept around past 4. And then this move happened. I was hurt. Look what we missed. But you know why I wasn't so pained like that? You know why I wasn't so pained like that? Because this is my setup. If we miss it today, it's always going to show again. It will always show again. We'll catch it another day. Guys, I'm not saying I would hold the trade up to this point. I'm not saying I would hold the trade up to this point. But I'm just saying, look at how far this setup went. 7,164 pips. This was our entry. Our supposed entry. This was supposed to be our entry. You see? So, yeah. In other words, BTC respects zones. That's all I can say. BTC respects zones. See? So good. So I'm not saying I would hold this trade up to this point. This was where I would have exited this trade. I see this. First of all, this is liquidity. See that equal high. That's liquidity. If the market wanted to buy, it would have from here. If it wanted to buy high, it would have from here, from this 1 hour zone. From this 1 hour zone, it would have gone far. But the fact that it came back down, it means it's going to supersede there. So this was supposed to be my TP. I told the people on my VIP, I told them, I said, guys, this is the trade we missed. This was supposed, they saw the position. This was supposed to be my take profit. First off, somewhere higher. Because when you spot liquidity, you have to, price will definitely break above it. You see this is an equal This is an equal high. That's liquidity. This is an equal high. That's liquidity. All right. So of course, price will want to sweep it. If it wants to maybe retrace and start saying it will have to sweep it first. I mean, grab it first. If it's up, it's grab. If it's down, liquidity is sweep. So it want to grab that liquidity I just showed you guys first before selling. But look what happened. It superseded. So yeah, this was my take profit. How many pips was that? 4,106 pips. 4,106 pips on this setup. I'm not regretting. Yeah, I did feel bad. I did feel bad a little bit, but I was more hopeful than dwelling in my sadness or whatever, because it's not the first time. This is not the first time. Market will always give you more setups, you know. It's been playing even before I got to know about the setup and all of that. So it's not now that I now know that it's not stop. So we'll look way forward. I have to look at the way forward. Wait for another setup to play out. So as you can see here, guys, I had this major zone here. This one is support. Let me see. Let me delete this. It was not here before, but because I just wanted to take, make some profits for that day, I had to mark many zones, which was many support, many resistance, and price really respected. Even this move that I wanted to catch here, from this place here to here, that's 600 pips, and that's money. It doesn't have to be long. That's money. So, all right. What are we looking out for this coming week on BTC? What are we looking out for? This is 1 hour time frame. Okay, I see a mini order block here. There is a fair value gap here. There's a fair value gap here, and price is likely going to come back, like retrace to this point before it keeps going to the upside. But I'm not going to take a trade here. All I do is I just mark, even where the look at this place now. You see how markets got here and is reacting. You'll be wondering, why is market reacting here? Why is it not buying? Why did it get here? If you were on a buy trade now, you'd be wondering, why did it get here? Simple to know. This is why. And that's why I told you guys on gold, when price get to that zone, that place I marked on gold, it was going to retrace. And see, it's just, if you take time to study the market, you will know places price will go to and where to reverse from and where to retrace from. Do you understand? Even this other place too, when price gets here, it's going to react there because there's a fair value gap there. At least I call it a checkpoint. It may not reverse from there. It may not. But the most important thing is, if you were in a trade before price got there, you just set there as your take profit, because it might retrace from there. You get, and then don't seek to take buy trade from there. Don't plan to take any buy trade from there because of this. There's a tendency that it just wants to confuse this gap and start dropping. So just know where the markets and just know where the market is likely going to. Yeah, know where the market is likely going to and where it's going to retrace from, where it's going to reverse from, where it's going to react. If you can know these things, then you've passed the important part of trading. I won't say the most important. The most important part of trading you need to pass is psychology and discipline. Okay, the most important part you need to pass is psychology and discipline. Finally, they bring the light. Because you may have your strategy, but if you don't have the right mindset, a good psychology and discipline, you keep missing trades and you keep losing. Because every trade you'll be scared to take it, and even if you take it, you will not want to hold it for long. So I'm going to delete this now because it's not my major zone. Major zone you want to mark from a demand level. Now this one is just middle of chart, so I can't even mark any zone there because it's middle of chart. Okay, it's in the middle of the chart. You want to mark your zones from a valid demand zone or valid supply zone. So I've come to the end of this live. I'll take 10 questions, 5 from YouTube, 5 from the other this thing. I'll take 10 questions, 5 from YouTube, 5 from the other end. You can ask your questions now. You can ask your questions. I'm done. I'm done. I would like to take a rest now. I still have other things I need to do. How many hours now? This is 2 hours. 2 hours, 16 minutes. I didn't plan to stay 2 hours. The plan was 1 hour, 30 minutes. Yes. Blue. I draw major zones from the higher time frame. I just finished BTC. That person who said check out BTC. I just finished BTC. Yes, Blue. I just answered you. I draw my zones from the higher time frame. Major zones, yeah, from the higher time frame. Let me take this back to gold. Can one HR is asking, Imafia is asking. Okay. Imafia is asking, can one strategy work in many pairs? That was what I was trying to tell you. One strategy cannot work in many pairs. Or maybe you can say it can. Some traders can tell you it can. But I tell you it doesn't. It doesn't. Even though you say it can. There are some pairs that will not give you high win rates on that strategy. One strategy cannot work on all pairs. This strategy I just showed you now does not play out on some currency pairs. GBP does not respect it like that. GBUSD. And some other pairs doesn't respect it. I think US30 respect it clear, but before it can respect it takes time because of how it moves. So I don't even try to peep it. But when I try to backtest it, nah. It takes longer time. And I just want to focus on one pair. So one strategy could work on many pairs. But there are some pairs that gives a high win rate on that strategy. While there are some pairs that gives low win rate on that strategy. Okay? So yes. Sometimes it will respect, sometimes it will not. I hope I've answered you. That's coming from HRM Mafia. So Jonah Praise says, did you encourage Profem? No, I don't encourage Profem for beginners. I don't encourage Profem at all. If you want to lose money, go and buy Profem. If you pass, they will take the account from you. They'll tell you breach a law. Don't waste your money. You trade your money. But you could learn. Chase the beginner. What do you mean by scambling? What do you mean by that? What Profem can teach you, right? What Profem can teach you is discipline. Profem actually taught me discipline. It did teach me discipline a lot because of their rules. So their rules kind of like help structure my discipline and all of that. Okay, so you draw major time. Okay, 15-minute time frame zones can be for scalping. Yes, 15-minute time frame zones. 15-minute time frame is for entry. Okay, but if you're a scalper, you use 15-minute time frame as your top-down analysis. 1 minute is your entry. Hill5 is asking, how do we start marking zones? I literally just did that on this chart for 2 hours now. For 1 hour plus. That's what I was doing all along. You mark your zones from the higher time frame. 15-minute time frame is for entry for day trader. Alright. Does gold respect what? Glado says, I had taken my buys before market close on Friday. Is there a possibility of going up? I don't predict the market. I really don't know. All I can say is, lately the market has been fond of creating a gap whenever it opens. Like, I won't be surprised if the market starts from here. If the market opens from here. I won't be surprised because that's what it's been doing lately. but it could open as a buy. Chabels, you're welcome. It could open as a buy. I don't know. I'm not. I don't control the market, so I wouldn't want to say what I don't know. It might open as up, like uptrend. It might just start from here because I see a repeated pattern. I've seen this pattern before where the market created an M pattern before the end of that week. Before the end of the week, before the week closed, they created an M pattern. And when the market opens on Monday, it opens from below. I've seen this move. I've seen it before on this live. I think that was 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. Simon says, thank you so much. Honestly, you're the best. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks. All right, let me focus on this one. HR Mafia says, what is the possibility of a 1 to 10 risk to reward being successful? Okay, that is rare. But if you're trading gold, you could possibly get that. But your entry has to be on a very, very discounted level. Let me look at this trade that I missed. Let me set the position and see how many before I give you an answer. So if I had taken this trade from here, like this, I would have traded way above here. This was supposed to be my TP. So is that 1:10? My SL would have been 300 plus. Yeah, so you see there's a possibility. If I had entered this trade, there's a possibility you can get 1:10. This is 1:12. This trade that I missed, this is 1:12. So yeah, so your entry matters. Your entry matters when you get a good entry, and depending on the move of the market, if you get a good entry, you can actually get up to 1:10 in a trade. H5, how many questions have I answered so far on this other app? Your blue line is 1 hour time frame, right? Let me see. Yeah, but it's already been respected. Let me delete it. I was only trying to show you guys how the market regards 50-minute zones too, not just the higher time frame, even 50 minutes. But you have to draw your higher time frame first, because it was through that higher time frame zone that I discovered the 50 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So this blue line now is the next valid zone. As you can see, markets. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame. This is the 4 hour time frame. You see the gap? This is a very valid zone. Are you seeing this liquidity above this zone? On the 4 hour time frame, it's not showing that this is a zone. But if you go down, you'll see that this is a zone. To make it even more valid, you see the liquidity that formed below the zone, meaning anything that makes sellers bring this market down here, there's going to be a reaction. There's going to be a reaction from here to the upside. But as usual, take notes. I keep saying this over and over again. If the market should break your zone, it's going to retest it. As long as you drew that zone well. As long as you drew your zone well. Now, as a beginner, you might find it difficult spotting the right zones. When I started trading, my early stage in trading, I used to get it wrong in spotting zones then. I used to get it wrong. Or maybe because that was the time support and resistance zone stopped working, I guess. Because at the time, it was only support and resistance zone I only knew. I didn't know anything about this. Although I had heard about it, but I didn't know anything so much about it. All right, so it was not playing out, and I had to disregard it. So on the 4 hour time frame, there's no how's it called? There's no zone there. So like I said, you mark your zone from the 4 hour, you go down to 1 hour, you mark your zones there. Okay, mark your zones there. Then on the 50 minutes. Even if you don't see it on the 1 hour, but you see this gap. Listen, let me show you something. You just need to understand how the market moves. You see this long spike. And you see this gap between this candle, and then this long spike. This is where smart money came in. Okay? So I didn't mark a zone here. Because if I wanted to mark a zone, on this 1 hour time frame, or if this zone was marked on the 1 hour time frame, this is how it would have been. That's how, this is how it would have been. Let me delete this one. This is how it would have been. But I didn't mark this zone in the 1 hour time frame, because from the 1 hour time frame, it's not a valid zone. But 15 minutes is showing me something different. 15 minutes shows me it's a valid zone. So I just marked the 15 minutes on. Just the 15 minutes zone I marked. That's it. Now, is price going to come down here? Okay. The more I see this, the more I'm convinced this is a very valid zone. You see the liquidity forming below the zone? That's how you know a valid one. That's how. This is 15-minute time frame. Are you seeing this gap? I'm just trying to show you something. Now, listen. For some of you who are new to this kind of like setup, you might be like, oh, okay. As long as I don't see an order block on the higher time frame, there's no point taking note of this. But you have to. I literally showed you guys an example of how the market went to respect 15 minutes zone order block. I showed you guys just now. So you see this gap between this candle and this one, okay? So 15 minutes shows me a clearer order block, how do I put it? Makes it clear, makes this setup clear. So this is my confirmation for this setup. You see this liquidity? You want to mark here? Below. First, this was liquidity here. And then second, I'm coming. It's even here. This is liquidity. All this move here. All this move, liquidity. That's liquidity. And then price broke above that, there. And then came back again. Why was it afraid to come close to my zone? Why was it afraid to enter the zone? You see how afraid it was to come close to enter the zone. So this is also a liquidity. Liquidity forming where? Forming where? Forming just above a fair value gap. Okay? So now, take note of this move. Let's go to a higher time frame. First 1 hour. What candle is this? You see this big spike candle? That's smart money move. That's a smart money move. All right? All right. Let's go to 4 hour. You see? The big candle. Smart money move. First it was this one. A zone was C. I don't know if many of you on this live now are new, but for those of you who have been on this live from the beginning, I already explained this. It's not by the candle. It's not by this, because I see big candle. Smaller time frame showed me that zone. Higher time frame did not show me the zone, but the smaller time frame did. This was it. Take a look at this, guys. I'm literally repeating this again. I'm repeating this again because I know a lot of you just came in, and someone will just watch halfway and just say, you don't know how to trade. You don't know how to trade. You just came in now and you just jump conclusion. But that's why I'm repeating this so you'd understand why. So I'm going to delete this, right? I'm going to delete this zone right here. I'll put that back. So guys, I saw this move happened. Hold on. I think this was on Monday. Yeah, correct. That was on Monday. All this move where I'm blocking, all this did not happen. I saw the spike. What I did was mark the origin of that spike. I waited. And then suddenly I see how price was coming down. And then price came into that zone. I didn't take the trade. I was just watching to see price action there. What happened? Price gave me a confirmation. An entry confirmation. This was my entry confirmation. Now, the reason I didn't take this trade is because my SL was huge. 484 pips. It was huge. That's why I was waiting for price to at least come a little bit down to show me another entry setup. Remember, it showed me a setup. This candle formation is a reversal candle formation, okay? This one is a reversal candle formation, which was why I would have entered. But when I considered how much I'll be risking, 484 pips, I already have a targeted number of pips I risk in the trade on BTC. But this was way too much. This was why I did not take this trade. Did he respect the zone or not? Now take a look at the zone. Let's go to 4-hour time frame. Let's go to 4-hour time frame. Let me show you something. I'll show you something just now. Let's go. This is my zone. You were like, she doesn't know how to trade. You don't know how to trade. Keep your opinion to yourself. Trade what you know. Let me trade what I know. This is 4-hour time frame. Does this look like a zone here? No, it doesn't. Let's go to 1-hour time frame. Let's go to 1-hour time frame. Okay, 1-hour time frame even showed the zone. This was 4-hour didn't show me the zone, but 1-hour time frame did. This was my zone. The candle before that spike. All right, so let's turn 1-hour time frame to blue. That's it. So now let's see what happened. 15 minutes now. 15 minutes. Let's go to 15 minutes. Okay. Are you saying the blue is the 1-hour time frame? Yeah. The blue is the 1-hour time frame order block. So let's delete the 15. Yeah. I drew that order block from the 1 hour. It wasn't from the 15 minutes. But from the 15 minutes, you can still see it correlates, meaning which makes that place a very valid zone. Okay, so this is it. Price came. You see what happened here? You see the reaction here. See that reaction here? A reversal candle on my zone. You see this deep drawdown. Even with this deep drawdown, we see this. See, had it been the SL was not this deep, I would have taken this trade. Even with the deep drawdown, I wouldn't have panicked. Because I knew it won't kick me out. Why? Because I saw it gave me a confirmation, like an entry confirmation. I wouldn't have panicked. But this SL was way too much. Before you take a trade, first of all, calculate your risk. If the SL will be too long, don't trade it in case it goes against you. That is my own policy. Before I take a trade, I always set my position. I check how much my SL will be if I take that trade. If the SL will be long, big, I don't take it. And that's how I've protected myself from many losses, even on gold. But did he eventually play out? Did he have a deep drawdown? Yes, he did. A threatening deep drawdown. That's why, you see why I like to hold, for those of you who know me very well, or who are in my community, you see why I like to hold my trade to SL. I don't panic out of the market. If I enter a trade, I don't panic out because of drawdown. I used to tell you guys, hold till SL. Hold till SL. Because of this, are you seeing what happened here? Price came close to if I had entered this trade. You see how this drawdown happened? How it came so close to hitting me out, only to reverse and went to the upside. How many pips did it now go? This would have been my TP1. This would have been my TP1. The first high. And then the second, this first high alone is 800 pips. Then the second high, final TP, 1,600 pips. So you see why I tell you in my community, my trading, for those of you in my trading community, let's not take trades every day. Only short setup. We wait for the market to give us A+ setup and we take it. Losses are little to none. Little to none. But I decided to pause my daily setup on BTC because this period of Trump and Iran. Funny enough, even last week that just finished, that daily setup didn't really play out well. And I'm so glad I made that decision to stop trading the daily setup. You know, the market can make people think you're not a good trader. They will think, oh, you're not a good trader. But they don't know it's the market that is not just respecting your setup. Maybe that week is just a losing streak week for you. Do you understand? I'm never in a conclusion to say a trader is not a good trader. The market can frustrate you. Will make you doubt yourself. Question yourself. So now this is it. The second TP would have been this next high here. But you could target 1 to 3. 1 to 3. See 1 to 3 here. How many pips? 1,400 pips. It's really not that hard. If we had entered this trade, let's say maybe we took the risk, we entered this trade, would we have lost this trade? No. You see why it's good to wait for your A setup. Don't take trade radically, rascal. No, wait for your setup. Don't chase moves. So I showed you this move, right? So this zone from the 1 hour time frame, right? 1 hour time frame showed us this zone, but 4 hour time frame did not. Okay, and remember what I told you. Sometimes you may not see a zone clearly on the 4 hour, but if you go down to 1 hour and 50 minutes, you might see a zone clearly. All right, so I'm going to delete this. No, let me not delete, let me just be taking it back so that the previous zone will come back. This zone was to show you an example of something. So now let's go back to the original. Hold on. I'm taking it back. That's 1,000. Why is this zone still here, for Christ's sake? Go away. Oh yeah, now. Finally. This was the zone I was waiting for. This one. Okay, so as you can see here, 1 hour didn't give us. You could mark that zone too and watch to see how price is gonna react there. Are you seeing the push? Are you seeing this push? You see how market respected this one? Are you seeing this push? Smart money. But you can't draw this as a zone. Now this, first of all, there's a gap. Are you seeing there's a gap between? Now, hold on. When I say you can't draw this as a zone on this 1 hour time frame, it means you can't. Okay, I'm not supposed to say this, but let me just explain further a little bit. If you're drawing an order block and you see something like this, it's not valid. All right, it's not valid. The smart money move should not go below the order block. All right, so as you can see, this week went way below it. So even if you mark your zone from here and price retraces, it might hit you out, sort of. It's not so. I see what I did was, I see this block, this candle, I see this spike, this smart money, and then I see this one, and then I see a gap, right? And I already know it's invalid. This zone marking all the block here is invalid. What I did was I went to 50 minutes. I went to 50 minutes to see how that played out there. All right, so I simply just marked this candle, the foundation candle before the up move. I simply just marked it. That's what I did. You see how liquidity formed? It didn't even close the gap it created. You see how liquidity formed above? As if that was not enough. You see another liquidity forming here. Wait, let me even increase this so you see what I'm talking about. Wait, I'm not even supposed to explain all of these things. I'm not supposed to explain. I'm supposed to just come here and analyze the market for the week. So this is my zone. See liquidity here. So I'll end it there. All right, guys. So for this week, this is my buy entry point. Anything that makes this market, if for BTC, right? If the market should come all the way down here, it has already created a setup here. So if the market should come down to this spot here, I'm seeking to take a buy trade from here. Only on confirmation, not a guess entry. I don't do guess entry. I only take my trade on confirmations. And then, but if the market should break below this zone, there's another valid zone here. Which this is where the market will be coming down to. If you disrespect this zone. All right. If this gets disrespected, this one. If this one gets disrespected, the next one. So what you want to do for yourself is mark zones and wait for price to get there. That's it. I'm done. So any other questions? Oh, I didn't know many questions came in. Okay, guys, 3 more questions. 3 more each. I've answered many more questions. If break 71111, 7111111. 3 more questions and I'm out. 3 more questions and I'm out. I don't use indicator. The only indicator is I use is session break indicator, but right now it's not even on. Nahom says, I like your trading style. Thank you. My trading style makes no sense to a lot of people out there. To some persons, they say I don't know how to trade because my trading style does not make sense to them, of which that's very normal. Very normal. My trading style doesn't need to make sense to a lot of persons. So, yeah. There are some traders, I see their trading style, their strategy, I'm like, this doesn't even make sense, but I can't even say anything. So, it's okay. Everyone would always have an opinion. What is your trading strategy? I just showed you guys order block. Do you really follow the trend? I follow trend. Of course, you have to follow trend. It's good. It's a combination of SMC and ICT. That's right. Yeah, this SMC and ICT. Please, what broker is that? This is Trading View, not broker. Please, what time do you go live? Every Sundays by 6 p.m. Yeah, every Sundays by 6 p.m. Bebio World says, I love your class. You're welcome. I'm glad you did. Of course, my live stream is always very educative. Apart from analysis, you will learn a lot because I share my experiences and I share my mistakes and I share my knowledge. No, I didn't stop using price action. I wait for price action on zones. Order block. I wait for price actions on zones. That's the best place I can get it. I can get good price action. Okay. I like your trading style, okay? So you are making money when it drop? I'm making money when I take a trade and it goes my way. I guess that's what you meant to ask. For this week's gold analysis, what is the one scheduled economic news event data release you see as having the biggest potential to shift the market, and how are you positioning for it? First off, I've already positioned myself for this week, all right, by my zones, okay? I've already positioned myself for this week by my zones. So the news, what's that question again? For this week's gold, what is the one scheduled? No, first of all, there's no scheduled. Okay, there is. Maybe you're talking about news coming up. Okay, let's see the news coming up. Those are the kind of news that are scheduled. Let's go to Forex Factory. Where is Forex Factory? Okay, so this is Forex Factory. This is the scheduled news, okay? Let's look out for, I think CPI is this week. Yeah, CPI is this week. So that's the scheduled news I'll be expecting. Okay, so the data of CPI would impact the market. It may not, because NFP did not impact the market with its data. So CPI may not have a spike, may not have big impact. I'm using the word may. I can't predict the market. So let's look at this. This is September 2025. Why is this thing even at September? No. Sorry guys, let's check this together. We're currently in May. Today is what date? Today is 10th. So let's look at 10th. 10th of May 2026. No, we're looking at 11. 11, not 10th. Yeah. So there's no news on Monday. All right, let's look at Wednesday. CPI is always Wednesday or Friday. You see, CPI and PPI. Let's look at Friday. No news on Friday. Guys, Friday is going to be a sweet day to trade gold. There's no news on Friday. There's a setup I have for gold Friday when there is no news. It always plays well. I back tested it and I see it always plays well. And that was the setup I called for us 2 weeks ago that we made profit from. Okay. Tuesday. Let's look at Tuesday. Tuesday. CPI. There's CPI on Tuesday, then PPI on Wednesday. Okay. So there's CPI there's CPI on Tuesday and PPI on Wednesday. So for that person who asked the question, so the scheduled news that can cause an impact in the market is CPI, okay? CPI on Tuesday. So if you're talking about the news from US and Iran, that one is not scheduled though. That one is not scheduled though. That one is impromptu. Those are the kind of news that can cause impact in the market more than the CPI itself. Do you understand? So we'll look out for Monday. If there's no sudden news, crazy saga news on Monday between Iran or US, maybe no bombing, Trump is not coming out to give any nonsense speech, and Iran debunking it whatsoever. If Monday should end well, that week will be good. Don't worry. If Monday should start and end without saga. Which market is this? This is gold. It means it will end well. I hope I answered your question, Momo. Market don't just gap up or down, but it respects past daily open and closes. I don't care if market gaps does not gap. My own is if it creates a gap, I wait for it to come close the gap and I take my trade. So whatever that causes the gap, whatever it's doing, there's something I look out for in the market, okay? There's something every good trader look out for in the market to take their trade. It doesn't matter what they're doing. We trade repeated patterns. If you get to that stage where you trade repeat, you notice. You see, my second mentor told me about this pattern. The market always creates a repeated pattern. See, guys, it was not my second mentor does not trade Forex. So it trades indices, synthetic indices for all these VIX volatility, this volatility, that. You know how that market, that first of all, it does not have its own trading view. So I use MT5. Even he himself, he used MT5 to do his analysis. So looking, I was like, repeated patterns, I first looked at the charts. I said, oh no, how long will it take me to discover the pattern this pair like to repeat? How long will it take? There are so many candles. How will I start figuring out the pattern? Where will I start? Yeah, so I had to stop focusing on synthetic indices. I came back to Forex. And the more you study one pair, the more you will see the repeated pattern. But if you're looking at random pairs, you will not see it. You will never see it. You will never know it on time. Someone says, please, this is my first time coming across your video. Do you have to, yes, the link to my Telegram channel is on my bio. Simon says, you're a good teacher. Please keep this up. Of course, I know I am. Thank you anyway for the compliment. Someone says, are synthetics random? Synthetic, there's something we call synthetic indices. All right, people trade that, but it's not on Trading View. It's on Deriv. It's on Deriv. So the Telegram link, it's free. It's on my the link is on my bio. Specify the high time frame, please. Vincent, when you say specify the high time frame, how do you mean by specify the high time frame? Like for analysis, or how do you mean? Do you have VIP free? No. That's why it's VIP. It's not free. Christ savvy. That's why it's VIP. It's not free. It's paid. Does commodities respect supply and demand? Let me quickly say something, right? So for those of you who have been here since I started this live, you would remember when I said that if someone even asked a question regarding it. You see this thing called inverse fair value gap. I tried to backtest it on gold. I also tried to backtest it on 3 other pairs. The win rate was low. The win rate of that strategy was low. But guess the people who talk more about inverse FVG, the people who give more education about it. Guess these are people who trade futures. So apparently it works more on futures than on forex. So you see why I said that person will ask a question, does one strategy work on all pairs? It does, but low win rate, while some pairs could respect it highly, give it high win rate. So I tried to learn, of course I did learn it. I learned the inverse fair value gap. That's why I tried to backtest it on 3 or 4 random pairs, my pairs anyway. And I saw that the win rate is, if you trade it, you'll be chopping SL back to back. I had to stick to what I know. I was like, no, 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 no. I want to stick to what I know. Let me trade only what I know. You people should trade what you know. And then I realized that the people who talk more about this inverse fair value gap are futures traders. Then also 15 minutes. Have you guys heard of this strategy, 15-minute orb? 15-minute orb. There's a strategy called 15-minute orb. I told you guys there are over 2,000 strategies out there. It may not make sense to you. Someone's strategy may not make sense to you. That does not mean the person is a bad trader. Focus on what you know. Do you have a strategy that works for you? If you have a strategy that works for you, you'll not be looking at somebody else's strategy and be saying their strategy does not make sense. That's a wrong thing for you as a trader to say to someone. So I tried the 15-minute orb. As a matter of fact, I backtested it for, I think these were things, that would keep me analyzing the market for hours. I could analyze the market for up to 21 hours in a day and only sleep for a short period of time. If you check my last video, I analyzed the market for, at the time I made that video, was about 18 hours. After that video, I still analyzed it till up to about 21 hours. Backtesting, actually, not just analyzing, backtesting strategies on random pairs to see the pair that gives higher win rates. It's not easy. It's really not easy. I tell you the truth, it's not. And when you finally get your strategy, you finally found an edge, your time, like, you'll not be stressing out again. All you need to do is show up in the market, trade a repeated pattern. That's why it becomes boring, because you already know what to trade. You just need to wait for the market to come to your zone, and then you take a trade. And before it comes there, it will take time. That's the boring part. The journey the market takes to before it comes to your zone, that's the boring part. And then, yeah, you're trading only one pattern. That could get boring sometimes. So when you finally find your edge, you won't have to be spending hours again analyzing or backtesting the market. So those times I was, I spent hours on the charts analyzing, backtesting, is because I was trying out different strategies. I really wanted a strategy that works well, 80 to 90%. I tell you the truth, because I don't like losses. Yes, my mind is open for losses, but I don't like losses. I like perfection. I like to be perfect. You get me? So I posted a video some time ago, and then some persons were like 80% win rate, even 60%. If they see strategy that they have a strategy that works 60%, that gives 60% win rate, I'm like, okay, that's fine, as long as it's working for you, you can, because at the end of the day, it's you versus the market, not you versus another trader. It's you versus the market. Does risk to reward matters for you? If yes, what's your maximum RRR? It depends on the zone I take my trade. Let me tell you something, right? You see, the thing, this risk to reward. Sometimes I consider it, sometimes I don't. Do you get me? I have places where I take profit from. I've been saying it. 3. Number 1, the next order block. Okay, the next order block. Number 2, the next low, like the next zone, whether the next high or the next liquidity. That's number 2, the next liquidity, because of course the high is liquidity. The next order block, the next liquidity. I'll keep the third one to myself. That's how I spot. So I don't just set. See, that's why I say every trader have different things that works for them. A trader could take a trade right here, and then they already have number of pips they like to, risk. I have mine for BTC. But gold, I don't have anyone for gold. I tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. Because I try to 75 pips, 90 pips, but gold will always want to go further to 120 pips before it starts going your way. And I'm like, what is this? Why? So I already have my SL, right, for BTC, okay? The number of pips I'm willing to risk. So for my daily setup, yeah, it's my daily setup is on my daily setup that I could like make a, risk that I could, set my risk to reward. Okay, I'm risking this to make this. But you see this A plus setup, I don't do risk to reward. What I do is I just told you 2 out of 3 zones I look out for as my take profit. I take my profit from zones, not from risk to reward. Okay. Like I think you're just joining. Otherwise, you remember when I set the I talked about the trade I missed and where I was targeting as my high. And when I checked, I had to check the risk to reward on this live because I didn't even check it there. Then it was 1 to 12, but that hardly happens. So you want to, like everyone have different point of take profits, different things like they look out for to take profit from. Do you understand? For some persons, it's risk to reward. They're risking 1 to make 2. Once it's 2, they're out. Also, for some persons, it's still the next zone. They're holding the price till the next zone. Or for some persons, they're holding the price till the next liquidity. Do you get? Depending on where you took that trade from. I hope I answered that. Please, how can I join your VIP team? The VIP is paid. The VIP is paid. It's not free. Okay? Because many of you, when you hear VIP, you always think it's free. No, it's not. How well do you know about CRT? And what do you mean by CRT? You have to spell that out because I only focus on simple terms. Is there any way you can help with few advice about trading CRT? Please tell me what you mean by CRT. Does risk to reward matters for you? Okay, I already answered that. Since you don't... Okay, Roman, please ask your question again. I've already answered your question. I think that should be like the final question. Candle range theory. Is that a strategy? Because when I discovered what works for me, I stopped looking to learn all that I stopped looking to... Are you talking about candle range formation, like candle? Are you talking about candle formations? If that's a strategy, I don't know anything about it, and I'm not even willing to learn about it because I've learned so much. And at the end of the day, what works is a simple thing. We love you. I'm a very good analyst. What you do works well on XAU. Okay, Jonah praise. I see you. Is this your first time on the live, Jonah? She says, is this your first time on the live? She says she's a very good analyst. Okay, Blue. I don't trade it. There are I see a lot of strategies. I even tried. No. I noticed something, right? I noticed that when I try to learn about a new strategy, not to trade it, but just to learn about it, it shifts there's something it does to my mindset, my trading psychology. There's something it shifts something in my mind. So I just stick to a simple thing, and I just stick to what works for me. That's all you need. Funny enough, your edge will be your edge, right, is a thing that will make you finally become profitable, and you realize that edge is going to be just one simple strategy, one simple one. It's not going to be a complicated one. Okay, it's not going to be a complicated one. So you just need a very simple strategy. So, and if you have it, stop learning other strategies. So regarding the candle range theory, I don't know anything about it. All right, I don't know anything about it. I'm just hearing this for the first time, right? I'm just hearing it for the first time, and I don't trade it. Like I said, even if I learn about it, right? Someone said I should analyze Euro USD. I wish I could, but I'm following my discipline of focusing on one pair. I have a discipline to not look at foreign pairs. When I say foreign pairs, I mean pairs outside of my picked pairs to trade, focus on. I already have pairs I look at that I'm loyal to. So I can't look at any other pair any other pair aside what I'm trading on. I call it a foreign pair. So I'm sorry I can't analyze Euro USD. I had it on my watch list, but I had to remove it recently because, you know, I just didn't want many pairs on my watch list. I'm okay with gold, BTC, and UJ. Candle range theory. Wait, you guys with many grammar. Is it this thing people are calling candle range theory? Is it market structure? Like, we have three types of market structure: uptrend, downtrend, and range. So is it this range you're calling candle range theory? Is it this one? Blue said that gold is currently on it. You mean this? Is this it? What broker do you recommend? Write me on Telegram. Just reach me on Telegram. I'll tell you how much it costs to be on the VIP trading. I think that will be the last question for now. Okay, she says go to daily time frame. Let's go to daily time frame and see what she's talking about. Candle range theory. Okay, let's look at it. All right, this is it. Its confirmation aspect. Okay. The 4 last candles. Okay. Are you sure it's daily or weekly? That candle range theory is weekly, I know. It's weekly. So they call it candle range. I didn't know that was the name for it. The 4 last. Okay, I understand. The last, yes, it's last 3 candles, not last 4. It's last 3 candles, but it's weekly. When I came across that recently, and someone I know was talking about it on his, channel on YouTube, and I know so much already. I don't want to learn new things. That's why I didn't bother to get that. There's a lot in my head. Do you get? So I don't want to. And see, every day as I backtest this market and analyze, I always discover new things. Even as I'm talking to you, I've already drafted out my script to post. I need to make a video showing you. I need to make the video I'm about to make to post, right, is about how to trade GBP/USD. So if the high swept is not swept, it will go down a bit before weekend. Okay, if that's how you understand it, it's fine. But have you tried it? Does it work for you? If it works for you, fine. I have a different thing that works for me, and trust me, I tried to learn a different strategy. Not because I was not contented with what I already have, but it was related to my own strategy. So I just thought, okay, let me add more knowledge. So I tried to learn more. About it, and guess what? It shifted my mindset totally. So there's a stage you get to, you don't need new strategies anymore. Just stick to that one simple one you finally found. Stick to that one edge. Stick to that simple one. Just be trading it consistently. I came across it, but I noticed that it's too much for me. It's too much for me. Like every time I have to like check the week, I go to the week, I check the last 3 candles, and then I go to daily. Because the person also, that person I told you about, that talked about the same thing. He also talked about daily, but the 3 candles is weekly. He didn't say anything about daily. It's weekly. A bit, is it daily? I don't even know. I don't know. Okay, she says, but if I see an opportunity, I use it. Okay, okay, that's fair. That's fine. Hey, what symbol? I don't know. Someone is talking about candle range theory. It's like trading a 3 candle formation, mainly 4 hour. So you see, someone else is saying 4 hour. Someone else said daily. The person I came across that talked about this same thing said weekly. So you see, too many informations, and Man, no. Like I said, I tried to learn a new strategy because it was somehow related to my own strategy, and it messed with my mindset. Like it shifted my mindset. It shifted it. I had to take a break from trading that day, you know. And I don't know if this I don't know if I should give this advice. It may not work for everyone. It may not be valuable to everyone, but to a few persons it would be. Never try to learn a new strategy during trading days. Never try to learn a new strategy during trading days if you already have what works for you. I did that, okay? And the following day, so for some reason, I suddenly forgot what works for me. I had it written down, but I didn't have confidence to trade it. My mindset was shifted. I felt unprepared because I spent the entire night learning something else. So when you find what works for you, stick to it. Trust me, stick to it. Stick to it. So if the candle range theory, you've learned it, you've back tested it, your pair respect it all the time, stick to it. That's what I can say. I already have what works for me, and that's what I want to stick with. How do you graph this? This is weekly time frame. That's weekly time frame. All these are zones. I already marked out my zones for, so it keeps me ahead of the game. I always get many messages like, I want to learn how to trade, I want to learn how to trade. The person who taught me how to trade, right? I didn't know the person didn't know so well. The person was teaching me the best he can, like the surface. But I saw the person trading aggressively, losing money. Me, I was funding the person, funding myself, as a way of, I believed in this person. Thinking, because the person was teaching me. Thinking the person knows how to trade, but I was wondering why the person was still losing. So I lost so much that I told myself, man, I can't go back now. I need to go for an academy. I need to go pay for an academy. I wanted to learn how to trade. I paid for the academy. I traveled to another city, lodged in a hotel for 1 month because I was determined to learn how to trade. Yeah, so if you really want to learn how to trade, 2 things. You either pay for mentorship, pay to someone that knows how to trade, not someone that posts profits back to back on their page. You might pay, they may teach you, but you will not understand deeply. You might pay, they may not have time to be teaching you or carrying you along. Do you get? You might pay, they may not even teach you at all. Okay? So know who you're paying. You're made to. Then the second thing is, the second part of learning, if you really want to learn how to trade, is learn from YouTube. But I would advise you on time so you don't make mistake. If you're learning from YouTube, learn from one particular person. Don't watch random videos on YouTube. You will confuse yourself. Don't think that you're gaining more knowledge. That's for, you want to watch random videos on YouTube from different people that will be learning more. You think you will learn more. No. You see, one thing about learning trading, too much information keeps you stuck. If you know too much, you will not grow. Do you understand? And that's the reason why I don't want to look at any other strategy. Let me perfect what I already have. It may look like I've already perfected it, but I'm not there yet. So it's either you pay for mentorship or you learn from YouTube. But if you're learning from YouTube, learn from one person, max 2. All right? A lot of persons I've watched random videos from YouTube, they are stuck. You know why? Your brain has taken in so much and does not even know which one to use, which one to do, you understand? So that was, even when I paid for physical class that made me travel to another city, after class, because it was 2 hours, 4 days a week, it was never enough. So after class, when I go back to my hotel room, I watch videos from that same person I paid. His YouTube channel. I go to his YouTube channel. I watch his videos from 2011. As I'm watching and practicing. Only from one person. Okay? That was how I learned faster. You see that beginner video, forex trading for beginners. I watched at the time he posted like 3. I watched the entire 3. Even though it was like the same thing he was saying, I watched the entire 3 because I wanted it to stick into my brain. If you're determined about something, you will pay for it. Knowledge is paid. Do you think it's okay to use other strategies as confluence? Yes. Yes. You can use other strategies as confluence. Just like, for instance, you can't trade support and resistance alone. You need other confluences to back it up. It cannot be traded alone. All right? Like my own setup, I can't trade it alone. There are other confluences I put in place to ensure that that setup is a valid one. All right? So yeah, it's okay to add other confluences to your strategy. But it has to be in line. Not that you have a strategy and the other strategy confluence you're adding is not related at all. Crossing my price market will soon be open. There's no specific time frame for. All right, who is you? I have 3 mentors. I paid for 3 mentorship. The second one was VIP. The third one was supposed to be VIP, but I mean, I didn't trust so well. So that's why I thought it was just a new person in the block. I didn't even know he's been new. Like, he's been there since. All I know was he had a name tag. King of fundamentals. King of supply and demand. So it was that name tag he had that made me pay for the mentorship. I wanted VIP, but unfortunately, the main person was not the one replying me. It was someone else, because it was after I paid for general mentorship. I had to ask again, the main person. I said, how much is your VIP? How much for your VIP? And he told me. I was like, so why did the person on Instagram reply me a higher amount? Do you get? Because I already paid a higher amount for VIP on my second mentorship, but the guy didn't teach me anything. That's why I was skeptical to pay for that third one. I just had to go for general. So I have 3 mentors. The last one was I learned fundamentals, supply and demand from the last one. The first mentor, I learned technical, right? I learned technical and trend lines and all the basics of Forex from the first mentor. Then the second mentor, the VIP mentor I paid for. I'm telling you the truth. There's nothing I can boast of that he taught. Nothing. There's nothing. That's when I knew not everyone. And this person posts big amounts profit screenshots. This person, he posts profit screenshots, big amounts. And you be like, wow, let me pay, let me learn, but you will pay. Your money will waste. Because it's not everybody are good teachers. I got stuck. His pattern of teaching and the things he imparted, the knowledge, it got me stuck. All he did was, I don't know, just, I don't know. I didn't enjoy the class. I was not prioritized. And what else? Even the strategy that he gave us, that work is everyday strategy, they work. I backtested it, it doesn't work at all. And he says the sniper entry, Kineko, how to cast sniper entry. Then I was so freaked about sniper entry move. That thing destroyed my psychology. I had to by myself unlearn that thing. I say, when you see setup, when your setup plays out, enter there. Stop trying to look for sniper entries. I was looking for sniper entries such that I went to be taking trades where I'm not supposed to take trades on. You understand? Me, are you on YouTube so I can learn from you? Yeah, actually, I've not started posting educational videos yet, but I intend to start today. Unfortunately, it's already late, so I don't think I'm going to make any videos today. I intended, start the videos today to start posting educational content. But the first videos, set of videos I'm going to drop, I might drop. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But part of the videos I intend to make to upload is strategies that I found out that works on GBP USD. I backtested so many pairs, different strategies that I discovered on my own. I discovered some things that plays out on this pair. USD CHF, um, AUD USD. That AUD USD, I saw the pair in my dream. I've never traded it, but I saw it in my dream. I decided to go and start analyzing, backtesting, So there's something that works there, right? Even GBP USD. Yeah, which other pair again? Even Euro USD too. I think they were about. Okay. USD CHF, GBP USD. Which other pair again? I think there were about 3 or 4. AUD USD is also there. So yeah, AUD USD correlates with XA USD, but focus on one. Let's focus on one. I tried to look at the two, but man, I got confused. You see how I missed my two entry setup on gold. Sorry, on BTC, because I was looking at gold. That's what happens when you're looking at, you know, two pairs at the same time. Some people may have mastered how to do that, perfectly, but I like simple things. I don't like to complicate things. So yeah, that candle range theory, I came across it. I just didn't know that was the name for it until you guys mentioned it and explained it. I came across it, but I was not interested in taking it serious because it's not something that aligned with my psychology. It's not something that I want to look into to trade with because I already have something else that works. Real traders stay strong through every market condition. Who is this person? I'm going to block you now. I'm going to mute you. All right. I also trade CRT very well. It's just almost what you're trading. Okay, that's nice. There's also another strategy called volume range, whatsoever. Yeah, I didn't even bother to try to learn it. Because one thing about me is that I could come across a strategy and I want to just start backtesting it on random pairs to see which one plays out well. But man, the moment one day I just told myself, for how long? For how long will I be looking at random strategies? If I see it's because of course I would always come across random strategies on the internet as long as I go into that space. I use TradingView price alarms, but see, they don't let me use it, and I don't have anyone currently. See what they always tell me. So I think I have invisible lines because there was a time I was trying to set it, right? But it did not show. But I think it counted, and this is not a paid trading view. It didn't show, right? The alarm did not show. It didn't reflect like this. But I think it's counted. Maybe it's invisible or something. Because when I try to do it again, check it again, like set it again, it will tell me I should subscribe. See what it will tell me now. You see what it will show. It will tell me to subscribe that I've exceeded the number of times. What is the biggest mistake you made in this industry? Biggest mistake I made in this industry, number one was paying for the second mentorship, VIP. That's number one. I was carried away by his profit screenshots. I paid for him. I didn't know that not everybody can teach, and not everyone are open to give you every information. They out of 100, they will only give you 20 because they don't want you to know too much. You understand? So, and the reason why I paid for that VIP was because I wanted him to. I just thought, okay, maybe it will keep me in his special place to teach me a lot than he teaches the general people. But man, instead of good knowledge to be added to me to skyrocket my journey, to profitability, rather it kept me stuck for months. So the second biggest mistake I've made was being in a buy trade. What goes up must come down. Okay, I was in a sell trade. Yeah, I was in a sell trade on GBP USD. Then I was still very new in trading. I had the money. So I was in a sell trade on GBP USD, and suddenly in the morning it started buying. No, then I didn't know anything about risk management and all that. He started buying, and I was hopeful that it was going to sell. I was even telling that person that taught me how to trade, the basics, the person who taught me the basics of Forex. I was telling him that what goes up must come down. Don't worry, what goes up must come down. This was real money. 900, the trade was moving on minus 900. Account almost blown. Do you know what I did? I called my brother to send me money that I'll give him back when I go to the bank. Because I couldn't go to the bank, I was holding a trade. So I told him, wire me 900K. And he wired me 900K, and I funded the account so that the account would be heavy enough to hold that trade. Because I was believing it will reverse. That was how I ended up losing $2,000 in a trade in one day. So that's another biggest mistake. It ended up not falling, and I was bragging, oh, what goes up must come down. What goes up must come down. It ended up not coming down. Buyers were in. And what the team paid me, oh, I was surprised. I was shocked. I was mad. Like, then I didn't even know what makes a price move. Why is it moving? Where is it going to get to? So that's why I told you guys, if you can predict where, if market is buying and you can predict where market is, would like, wait, what? Jesus. It worked, oh. Huh? How? Eh? Eh? It's working. Wow. Hey, finally. Thank you. Who is that person? Thank you for mentioning that thing. Let me look for you. What's the biggest mistake? Who is that person that talked about timer? God bless you. Because even as of yesterday, which day, yeah, I was trying this thing. It told me I've exceeded. Oh. Now I'm trying to delete it. It told me I've exceeded. I said, well, exceeded what? I'm not seeing any timer on my chart and you're telling me I've exceeded. That's how I gave up on it. Every time, it just so... Okay, that's nice. Thanks. Okay, yeah. Oh my God. I think I may have mistakenly sent you an invite. Please ignore. I may have mistakenly sent you an invite. Please ignore. Why block? What do you mean by why block? Which broker are you referring to? Someone? But I believe in any mistake you made, you learn. Oh yeah, that's one beautiful thing about trading. Every losses, right? Every mistake you make makes you wise. It gives you wisdom. You feel the wisdom. Okay, Daniel, thank you. Daniel, if Daniel had not mentioned it, I wouldn't have known this thing is working, oh. Thank you, Daniel. Because I've been trying. They keep telling me I've exceeded. Mama, please, what's your main strategy? Order block. SMC. SMC is my main strategy. That's the one I've decided to focus on now. I told you guys I have two setups, right? The one that plays out daily and the one that plays that takes a couple of days, sometimes 2 days, sometimes 3 days, sometimes a week, sometimes 3 weeks, sometimes 1 month. It takes, before it plays out. So that's the one I've decided to focus on because at the end of the day, I don't like losses. So I don't want to say I don't like losses at all. But I understand that the market sometimes can make you feel you're not a good trader, but these are just they are stages. It's just a phase to pass. It's not always like this. I really want to learn this trade, but I don't know anything on it. I need a mentor. Are you willing to pay to learn? Because even if I decide to teach now, it's my time and my energy I'm consuming. So if you're willing to pay to learn, although I've not even started hosting general mentorship yet. Right now it's VIP I'm hosting. It's VIP. I have VIP mentees, about 7 VIP mentees from all around the world. How about me that's just coming up newly? Okay, just pray the war be over because people learning trading now, the market will pursue them out sharp because of Trump, the war. By the time you enter trade, based on what you were taught, you enter trade, you collect SL. You'll be thinking trading is not your calling. But you will not know it's just a phase. It will pass. It's this Iran and US that are messing with the market. that is messing with the market. Please, what's your main? I've already mentioned that. I already mentioned that. Why block? CRT works in all time frame. Okay, okay. The first person I came across that talked about this CRT was he said weekly, and he had a different explanation for daily. So he said weekly, on the weekly time frame, you want to take note of the last two candles, this is that. I tried to learn it, but it didn't click. I said, I beg, no, I don't want to learn it. I learn by myself. I have 13 years of experience. Just learn for beginners, moving average, and support resistance, and specifically MACD indicators, and you are done. Mark strategy and follow it. You see, this coming from Dawood. Hi Dawood, how are you? This person says he learns by himself, 13 years experience, and the strategies he's even calling, I can never look into it. Because I just the sound of it makes me feel it's a complicated strategy. You can learn as part of conference. No, I don't want to. I don't want to learn as part of conference. I don't want to learn as part of. I'm okay with my supply and demand and order block. I don't want to. I told you guys when I tried to learn a new strategy. I think that was recently. It messed with my mindset. It shifted my mindset from what I already know. So I told myself no more. You see this CRT. Somebody else is already saying something else. This person saying, what's the person saying? I'm coming now. Just learn ahead. The person say moving averages. I think that sounds like indicator. Moving averages and support and resistance, and specifically MACD. That is a MACD indicators. And that's another one. I beg, it's too many. Trust me. There are a lot I come across, even on Instagram. So I've already how do I put it? I already enforced a discipline on myself, okay? I had already enforced a discipline on myself, and that's what I'm following. So one of my discipline is never look at another pair aside the pair you've decided to focus on. Okay? Second is don't try to learn new things. Stick to what you know and master it. Stick to what you know till you become a master of it. That's the goal. So if CRT works for you, the way you understand it I may not understand it the way you understand it, okay? And the way I understand this, my strategy, trust me, I'm not sure you may understand it. You may, but yeah. I don't know anything about this, but I love it and it's my dream. Can you help me, please? Yeah, but it's not for free. And have in mind that losses are guaranteed. Jonah Praise, I see you, Mama. Jonah Praise, are you male or female? Nah, the CRT, okay. I use trade CRT. I also trade CRT very well. It's just almost, okay, I already read that. Alright, I think that's all. I've been trying to buy time, yeah? Gold will start bearish, definitely. I really don't care what gold wants to do. I only trade what it shows me at the time I'm ready to trade it. BTC is falling with... I only trade... Sometimes predictions can be so wrong. The market will end up doing what it wants to do. Someone says gold will drop to... okay. Someone says... BTC is falling with Trump news. I'm male. Okay, Jonah Praise. So the reason why I decided to focus only on my A setup was because you see during the scandal between US and Iran, that back and forth with US and Iran, that market was doing anyhow to some traders, right? During that time, that a lot of traders were complaining that the market can't hold its direction for long. This is that. My daily setup on gold was not playing out. Do you get? Some week it will play out, some weeks it will not play out. Do you get? Now, even my BTC setup, it was trying, but gold was the worst. The BTC daily setup was trying. Do you understand? But I noticed that my A setup, despite the noise, despite the the scandal, the back and forth with US and Iran, the market still respected zones. That was why I said no more daily setup. I'll wait for my zone to play out. Because if in the midst of war, every other strategy is almost everyone complaining, and then I see that the market wasn't that terrible. Even though it was terrible, the moment it gets to a zone, it will humble itself. Oh yeah, let's be waiting for zones now. I just told myself, well, yeah, okay, no problem, it's fine. We'll wait for zones, no matter how long it takes. We'll wait for zones before we take. I trade gold and BTC. I have USD JPY pair that I've been observing it. I've been studying it, especially for NFP. You know, it's USD. USD is the base. Yeah, so I've been studying it, and also it respects my setup a lot. This is USD JPY. I tried to backtest my setup on GBP USD, but nah, USD JPY gives me a cleaner like model. It gives a cleaner model for me than this is USD JPY than GBP USD. So I had to remove GBP USD off my list, and I'm okay. Like, trust me, guys. There were times where I was how would I put this thing? I need to be very careful with my words so that somebody will not misinterpret me. Okay, let me just be very modest with my words. There were times where I jumped from one market to another. I jumped from one pair to another. Even US oil, it was on my list. I was trading US oil. That's I told you guys. I remember I mentioned the strategies I know that I was telling you guys about that I discovered on some pairs. US oil is part of it. I forgot to mention it. US oil was part of it. Because I know it's not just USD, JPY, GP, USD, and all of that. There was still some. So yeah, US oil. This Daniel, are you reading my mind? Are you a spirit, Daniel Cruz? What's going on? So on US oil, I discovered a setup that works, short setups that works on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think I should also make a video on that too. The reason why I'm making videos on them is because I don't trade them. So for beginners who are looking for short setups to trade, for quick money, easy money, fast, you don't want to learn, you don't want to give time to learn, you just want sharp, you want to know the strategy that works on this pair, so you'll be taking it, you'll be trading it. I'll also make that video. I had long forgotten about US oil. As you just reminded me now, I'll look into it. US oil, I'll make a video on GBP USD, US oil, AUD USD, maybe USD CHF if I still have those strategies written down, because I used to write them down on my draft. So I'm supposed to have gone off since, but I don't know. They've not brought this light since. I'm just trying to like keep, stay accompanied by you guys. I'm actually done with the analysis and review though. We're just having interaction. BTC melting hard. All right, let's look at BTC. Someone says BTC is melting hard. Ooh, guys. See, oh my God. If you've been on this live stream from when I started, right? What did I tell you guys about this zone? What did I tell you guys about this zone? You were here when I drew this. I made mention of, okay, that I could draw. I see an order block here. I said I see an order. I'm coming. So everyone can see this. Okay, so I said I see an order block here when price was somewhere here. So I was like, I see an order block here, and then I now cancelled it because it is not wise to draw anything there. Why? Because that is not a demand level. That's just middle of chart. I mentioned it. And then I was like, I told you guys where to spot your order block. Spot it on a demand level or supply level. And then I also went on to tell you guys, now for someone who don't know how to trade, remember I said that. I said for someone who don't know how to trade, now seeing this buy move, you want to stake your buy here and think market to buy. You don't know why market is reacting here. Why? Okay, Like, you don't know why market got here and was reacting. And I now told you guys why the market was reacting here. I showed you guys why this market was reacting here. And look at this. This is why I drew this line. I said, guys, when you see a market get to a certain point, sorry, there's always a reason why. Do you understand? So knowing this thing keeps me ahead of the game. So even if I was in a buy trade here, this is my TP1. Do you understand? So when someone asks me, what's your RRR, your risk to reward? I don't have it. If I enter trade on a very good level, good zone, I target the next zone. I target the next order block. I target the next liquidity. Because price always reacts on these zones. Now look at this. At the time we looked at this market, right? This price had not sold down. I'm just showing you guys how this market was. I'm just showing you guys how this market was liquidating here. And I told you guys some persons will want to enter for a buy because of this big green candle. You see the buyer's candle, this power candle. And then market started consolidating here. And I was like, this is why the market is consolidating. And I told you guys why this market is consolidating here. I showed you guys why. And just look at this sale that happened. Look at the sale that happened. And what did I tell you guys? Don't forget, I said this is a zone. This is a zone I am seeking to take a buy trade from. And I explained why, right? I took my time to explain why I'm taking a buy trade from here. So I won't be surprised if BTC, seller should bring this market down to this prime zone. So now, instead of marking this other block and fair value, this small fair value gap I see here, in fact, what even made it invalid is because, look at it, it's already close to another one here. And again, it's in the middle of chart. Middle of chart. So you want to mark the prime, like the discount. This is my valid one. Not this one. Not this one. This is the valid one. Price, are you seeing how you disrespected? So I'm saying all this to say that even if you want to learn my setup, or you're trying to learn my setup from my explanations, you might still make mistakes. You might still make mistakes. You might still spot the wrong zone. When I started trading, when I started trying to learn about, I was getting it wrong. Even when I started getting it right, drawing the zones right, I did not have confidence to execute trade on those zones. Blue says BTC is going to $60,000. Okay, let's see $60,000 if there is any zone there. Let's go down to $60,000. See, are you guys seeing my zones? You guys are seeing my zones. I'm ahead of the game. I kept myself steps ahead of the game. You can see my zone. Now look at where price is. I'm coming. I'm coming, guys. Let me show you something. Let me show you something just now. Are you seeing where this price is right now? This price is currently sitting at 81,000, right? I have zone all the way down to 64,000. Now I don't care how long price is going to take before it finally comes here. My own is that for the market to have created a setup here on the 28th of February, no matter how long it takes, you see all these zones? You see all these zones? You see all these zones? Whatever is doing up there, it will still finally come down to fill up this place. Do you understand? So yeah, if you say BTC is going to drop down to $60,000, I won't dispute that. I literally had to take it down to show you my zones. I'm waiting for price to get there. I already know where price is gonna react when it gets there. Do you understand? Where to take my entry trade from? So, but right now I'm looking to take a buy trade from here, from this zone here. This is 1 hour time frame. This is 1 hour time frame. And also, you guys, you should have a trading discipline, all right? You should have a trading discipline, because I'm very sure there are a lot of traders trying to enter trade here. First of all, this is a wrong hour to trade. That's number one. Number two, have a session you look out for to take trades on. You see, I see good entries, promising entries after 4 p.m. my closing time, but I don't take it. Sometimes it will go my way, and I'll like, should I shift my closing time to 5 p.m.? Should I do this? Should I do that? I say no, stick to it. There was a reason why you kept 4 p.m. as your closing time. So stick to it, don't change it. So recently, I saw a promising move which happened on my zone after 4 p.m. I saw a familiar reversal kind of formation on my zone that shows buyers were in, but this happened after 4 p.m. You get just an hour before the close of London. So I intentionally did not take that trade. I say to myself, it's not the first time I see move, happen and then it will go finally and I miss it. But I choose to follow my discipline over anything else. So I didn't take the trade. I let it because I didn't want to go against my discipline. If you go against your discipline one time, it's going to keep let me put it this way, for every time you go against your discipline, you are taking yourself one step backward. Yeah. Instead of growing, one of your leg will go back, and you don't know. You won't know. You will only see the outcome of disobeying your discipline. You will only see the outcome, but generally you'll be you'll be stepping backward. That's what it means. I won't say I cried blood. I cried tears literally almost every day, pleading God to teach me how to follow my discipline. It was hard. I had my discipline written down, but to follow it was a battle. I prayed and cried my way. I involved God. I involved God. God helped me. He taught me how to follow my discipline and how to be patient in the market, because these were the two things that were making me lose money in the market. Lack of patience and discipline. The market is bullish, not bearish. From the overall time frame, the market is bearish actually. Are you just joining? Because when the price, is this BTC? Okay, when price breaks above that previous high, when is the previous high, when price breaks above that previous high, it means buyers are stronger. Where's the previous high? This is it. It means buyers are stronger. It means the trend is bull. But from the overall time frame, it's bearish. Still on the journey, it hasn't been easy. You're gonna get it. If you're still struggling with discipline and psychology and patience, I would say enact that in your general life. Then it's going to reflect in your trading. Blue says that's her weakness. She overtrades when she's stressed. Do you revenge trade too? I'm trying to think how people overtrade when they are stressed. For me, I figured out, it was when I figured out the problem that I started working towards it. I figured the reason why I always revenge trade and overtrade. Of course, overtrading is to quickly recover my losses, but there is a reason why I revenge trade. I don't just sit on my own and just start revenge trading. No. There's something that triggers my emotion to revenge trade. Even when I revenge trade and I see the negative outcome, tomorrow I'll go again. I'll do it again and again and again, until I discovered what the problem was. So I realized if you discover the problem, right, that will be your first step to recovery, like first step to overcoming revenge trading and over trading. So for me, what triggered me to, always revenge trade was whenever I take trades that was not my setup and I lose. Whenever I take trade that was not my setup and I lose, it triggers my emotion to revenge trade and over trade to recover that loss. Who is this person saying go by now? I'm going to mute you. Don't mislead people. Stop misleading people. She said she took 18. How long have you been trading blue? And so many. How long have you been trading? What pair do you trade? Yes, in trading as a beginner, losses are guaranteed. Is more guaranteed than wins as a beginner. The market is bullish, not bearish. Okay, whatever you say. Whatever you say. How do you mean by good like me? Who drew this kind line here? Someone said, who drew this kind line here? That was an analysis we're doing. How do you handle opening gaps? How do I handle opening gaps? Opening gaps. Okay. So I had explained the different types of gaps the market created. But you see this opening gaps of a thing, I don't trade it. I only look out for fair value gaps. Yes, gold breaks hearts. It manipulates a lot. It tricks a lot. Even me, I do encounter that. I do face that. Every trader that trades gold, they do face that. Trust me. Even the guy that made $4 million in a day, that instigated me to start trading, right? He didn't particularly directly. His profits, his outcome instigated me to start trading. $4 million in one day. That's enough to quit whatever I was doing to focus on trading. So he does take loss too. Not that when you see a trader who makes profits on any pair, whenever they take loss, many of you people are fond of mocking that trader, telling the trader they don't know how to trade, saying nasty things to bully that trader. And sometimes I wonder what kind of mindset you have, because a real trader has this mindset of trading is you versus the market, not you versus another trader. Do you understand? There's something that trader knows that you don't know. But you have this mindset that any trader that takes a loss does not know how to trade. And that shows you have a long way to go, because it is until you get to a phase in trading that you would understand that sometimes setup fails. Sometimes the market will make you feel like you're not a good trader, and thereby to make you want to quit. If you don't attain that phase, you keep talking the things you talk when you see a trader take a loss in the market. As she is that trader's father that owns the market, he will not take loss. She is the trader's father. When I say a trader take a loss, it should not. It should never be a thing of happiness, right? Maybe let's say the trader has been posting profit back to back, and then you now see the trader take a loss, and so many of you be happy. And you people, if you find yourself in that category, just know you have a long way to go. You've not started yet. If you take small money to big money, you will blow it all. That shows you've not started yet. Maturity comes in when you never judge a trader by their loss or by their strategy. So for that person saying is bullish, is it because the market broke the structure to the upside? Nah, it's not enough reason. Let's look at daily time frame again. This is gold. Let's look at daily time frame again. How can this be bullish? This is not bullish. It's not. Because the market has been making higher, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Higher time frame says bearish. Even on the 1 hour time frame, the current where you can get your current strength, the market is on a range. So where are you getting the bullish from? Remember this, right? I said if the market goes up there's a zone here which you might respect and come all the way down. But if it breaks above, it's going to retest that zone and then keep spiking. But anything that makes sellers bring this market way below this zone, as you can see here, price never broke below the zone on the higher time frame. Anything that makes this market a candle break below this zone, it's coming to the downside. See this place. Do you understand? So I'm not saying I am right. I only say what I know. All right? We can only analyze the market to the best of our knowledge. All right. So any trader that sounds so convincing, maybe their father is the one that is running the markets. Maybe you never can tell. Okay. So as you can see, I have three probabilities where to take my trade from, my point of entries, whether it's zero or zero or zero. So anything the market wants to do, I'm already ahead. I'm waiting. So as a trader, that's what you want to do. You want to keep yourself ahead of the game. Funny enough, you might just end up consolidating. The market will be open in a few minutes. I'm going to have to end the live stream now. I could not understand anything. That's because you're new, I guess. Yeah, maybe their father is an insider blue. It could be that their father is an insider in Wall Street. Oh my God, someone just tried to bully me now, guys. All right, let me, Elliot Wave. I would have blocked you, but I will leave you be. I will leave you be, all right? People like you are best to be left be, because from where you are, you're just going to raise your head up and be seeing the person you try to bully but at the top. So YouTube hit a comment, right? I decided to open the comment and this person said, go to kitchen. This job are not for you, babe. Amazing. Okay, so the job is for you. The job is for you. Answer me, please. Is men like, if this person, I'm sure the person who dropped that comment must be a guy, and from that kind of comment, I can easily profile the kind of person he is. He's a kind of man that is afraid and intimidated by his woman's success, by a woman's success. He's a kind of man, he's a kind of guy that if he ever marries, the value of his wife will end in the kitchen. That person that commented that, the value of his wife will end in the kitchen, and he would never help his sisters if he has more than one, because he feels, even though men are the provider, even though men likes to be the provider, it's just stupid to think that only you should be the one providing. But if you ever come across a woman who gifts you, who has her own money, who goes out and sees something nice and buys you a gift, buys it and gives you, you would cherish your woman having her own money. But men like you don't go far. The money you think you have, it will not last. Because just when you think the value of your woman ends in the kitchen, you're the only one working for the money, you will go bankrupt if the only source of provision is from you in your family. So you can easily tell a person's mindset from their comment. And I feel so sorry for that person who commented that. The person is no different from Buhari. She's Buhari that said Nigerian youth are lazy. That's how. And then she's Buhari that said a woman is meant for kitchen and the other room. Was it Buhari? I think they are brothers. That person that commented that thing must be related to Buhari, the late Buhari. Don't talk about the hate. No, don't tap into. No. Who is this person? Sagreen. I had my reasons for saying what I said, because I noticed over time that some persons have some persons have a kind of disgusting attitude, but they don't know. They don't know they have this disgusting attitude. They don't know they have a nonsense mindset, a lame mindset. They don't know until you make them know. So I intentionally said what I said because it looks like that one is still far behind. It's still backward. Maybe no one around him has told him that kind of mindset he has is for Buhari era. In his generation. It's for Buhari's generation. Which broker? Please ignore. No, I wasn't trying to. The person is still here. The person is still here. Oh, the person is even an Italian. Here in Italy, it is, aha. No, here, in other part of the world, it's not a compliment. You don't tell a woman that she belongs in the kitchen. So I think you are related to the late president, the former president who is now late of Nigeria. The former president of Nigeria who is now late. You don't say that to a woman. You don't tell a woman to go to the kitchen. This job is not for them. You don't ever say that to any other female trader. Don't. You see why I said, you see why I told you guys I was intentional about my reply to that particular comment, because it could be that he doesn't know. He doesn't know that such a comment is wrong. So he just said it now. Yeah, it's a YouTube comment. He just said it now that he just he just said it now that in Italy it's a compliment. Keep that in Italy, all right? Keep it in Italy. Compliment the women there in Italy. They will understand the compliment, but you don't just tell a random person from another part of the world to go to the kitchen. This job is not for them. That's not a compliment. That's a bully. All right? That's you underestimating a woman. And anyway, let me end it there. But please, this should be the last place you ever make such a comment, because other people may not take it lightly. All right? I'm not from Italy, and I would never ever understand such a compliment. It's not a compliment where I come from. It's a bully. And some regions, they find it very offensive and they might insult you for it. All right, guys, market is opening in a few minutes. I have to go off now. I'll see you guys later. I'm going to end it first on... Whenever I plan to stay 1 hour 30 minutes, I always end up staying for over 3 hours. Discipline. The person has apologized. No problem. It's fine. I didn't pick offense. I don't easily get angry. I just understand one thing. Some persons may not know that what they did or what they say is wrong. If you don't tell them, they won't know. So I just assume you just didn't know that was offensive. But it's okay. I didn't pick an offense. Apology accepted. I'll see you guys next week Sunday. But if the market goes good this week, I might go live and we trade live. Okay. For those of you who want to join the community, the link is on my bio. All right.